Successor at the party legislative meeting held earlier today. An emotional Atishi took over the reins from Kejriwal, but the Aam Aadmi Party reiterated that Kejriwal will resume his role as the Chief Minister after the elections are held.
पूरी दिल्ली में लोग अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के इस्तीफे से दुखी हैं, लेकिन साथ ही दिल्ली के लोग इस बात का प्रण ले रहे हैं कि आने वाले चुनाव में वो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को फिर से मुख्यमंत्री बनाना चाहते हैं। अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने भरोसा कर मुझ पे ये जिम्मेदारी दी है। दिल्ली के लोगों के साथ अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को फिर से दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री बनाए, और जब तक चुनाव नहीं होते तब तक दिल्ली के लोगों की रक्षा करना कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी षड्यंत्र रचकर दिल्ली के लोगों की बिजली, फ्री बिजली, अच्छे स्कूल, मोहल्ला क्लिनिक में इलाज बंद ना कर दे, ये मेरी जिम्मेदारी नहीं। और उसी के लिए आज हमने एलजी साहब को पत्र दिया है, सरकार बनाने की दावेदारी का पत्र दिया है।
जेल से आने के बाद दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने यह ऐलान किया था कि जब तक दिल्ली की जनता दोबारा अपना समर्थन दे करके हमें नहीं जिताती है, तब तक हम दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री के कुर्सी पर नहीं बैठेंगे। उसी ऐलान के तहत आज मुख्यमंत्री जी ने उपराज्यपाल महोदय को अपना इस्तीफा सौंपा है। साथ ही साथ दिल्ली के अंदर आगे सरकार को संचालित करने के लिए सुबह आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक मंडल दल की बैठक हुई थी। बैठक में सर्वसम्मति से आतिशी जी को अपना विधानमंडल दल का नेता चुना गया था। हमने आम आदमी पार्टी के विधानमंडल दल का जो फैसला है पार्टी की तरफ से उप राज्यपाल जी को सूचित किया है, और साथ ही साथ हमारे विधायक दल की नेता आतिशी जी की तरफ से जल्द सरकार बनाने के लिए दावेदारी प्रस्तुत की गई है। हमने उपराज्यपाल महोदय से निवेदन किया है कि जल्द से जल्द शपथ की तारीख सुनिश्चित की जाए, जिससे कि दिल्ली के अंदर दिल्ली के 2 करोड़ लोगों के लिए जो काम है उस काम को आगे बढ़ाया जा सके।
All right, so that is done. The Chief Minister has quit. Arvind Kejriwal left the LG's residence in just one car with his driver. There was no convoy, back to being at least the Aam Aadmi. Now, Atishi has staked claim with her ministers. When will she take oath? It depends when the LG gets back, because it's complicated. The resignation of the Delhi Chief Minister by the LG will be forwarded all the way to the President via the Home Ministry, and it takes time. But what next for the Aam Aadmi Party? Colleague Ashutosh Mishra joining us for more on that. Ashutosh, the next phase of making this election completely about Arvind Kejriwal, personalizing it, now rolls in. In all probability, Ashutosh, coming from tomorrow, we are going to start seeing, optics, visuals of Arvind Kejriwal moving out of his residence in the next couple of days, and then maybe try and get back into the Aam Aadmi mold.
And looks like he'll be shifting somewhere in the New Delhi in his own assembly pocket. To his own people, and very much leave that house for the next Chief Minister, who is Atishi. In fact, where I am right outside here, this is the residence of the new Chief Minister of Delhi, Atishi. It's raining heavily. I've tried to reach out to the family members who are not ready to speak at the moment, as Atishi has also asked the supporters, do not celebrate, do not offer garland, do not distribute seats. This is not a moment of celebrate, but it's just an opportunity that Arvind Kejriwal and the party has given to her. So yes, tomorrow onwards, you probably see Arvind Kejriwal. Remember, one startup that Arvind Kejriwal started, a lot of experiments he has done. And even at this phase, Preeti, this is all the experiment that he has been doing in this political startup. Often that's achieved success, sometimes it's even failed. But this time what you see after going to the public's court without waiting for the court, the final verdict, because that may take even more than a decade as far as the legal proceedings and excise case is concerned. But deciding to go to the people's court, offering a resignation, giving the responsibility to one of the most loyal and trusted and perhaps more reliable face, and a woman Chief Minister. So a lot of MasterCard he has played simultaneously. But when he goes for the campaigning, for the first week of October till he will be focusing on Haryana, either till the voting is over. And then what I'm hearing that from second week of the October, the strategy which is being planned to hit the street in a phase wise. First phase, second phase, third phase, and gradually with the aggression as the Aam Aadmi Party style has been for the campaigning. And remember, this time Arvind Kejriwal is not all alone. He has his second in command, Manish Sisodia, a trusted chief minister, reliable face in the government, and Vijay Nair, one of the key players in the communication in charge. And all of his team members are now free. They are out here to design strategy, and they hit the street. So that looks like we are going to see a new Arvind Kejriwal, ex-chief minister of Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party's national convener and a full-time politician.
Well, you're right there, and there is now going to be a clear attempt to reinvent Arvind Kejriwal. That mold that was built around on, where he was cast in terms of the Aam Aadmi Party. Now an attempt to re-establish that. But Ashutosh, to bring you in, there is also seemingly, Ashutosh, a clear understanding where the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned to not make Arvind Kejriwal the face of Haryana elections. It's got more to do with Delhi. They're going to try and keep him away because at least for now, the Aam Aadmi Party seemingly a fringe player in Haryana. All in for Delhi, try and keep Arvind Kejriwal out in terms of being the face of Haryana. The posters of Haryana Ka Lal Kejriwal now also being called back.
Well, Arvind Kejriwal has been a face of the Aam Aadmi Party in terms of his governance model in Delhi. Arvind Kejriwal was a face in Gujarat with his model of governance in Delhi, and that was the similar case even in Punjab. But with this strategy, when they phased out all these posters, remember the moment when they decided a face of a chief minister, be it Ishudan Gadvi in Gujarat or Bhagwant Mann in Punjab, the moment they decided there will be a face, then Arvind Kejriwal was phased out from the posters, and they gave out the faces from the respective states. So here in Haryana, since they are going to contest the election now, taking seriously at least on certain seats, Haryana Ka Lal Arvind Kejriwal will be in the poster, but not exactly the way they have been campaigning Delhi. And remember, Arvind Kejriwal has made one promise in the past: whatever it takes, he will be always loyal to Delhi, he will always govern Delhi, he will always focus Delhi. So despite being Chief Minister of State, he has been campaigning all over, but his primarily focus has always been here in the national capital. Well, and that message right on the edge when we are barely 4 to 5 months away from the Delhi election, Arvind Kejriwal would not give any message out that he's going to focus somewhere else, Preeti.
True, you're right there, and that's what's going to happen right now, because earlier on there was indication that possibly Arvind Kejriwal is going to be used in Haryana. That's not going to happen, viewers. He will go because he has to campaign. He is the leader of the party, and however, it's not going to be Arvind Kejriwal who's going to be the poster child where Haryana's Aam Aadmi Party campaign is concerned. It's all in for Delhi, and Arvind Kejriwal knows he needs to protect that turf. And he's got his team intact now. Everyone's out re-strategizing, reworking, trying to reinvent. Let's cut across to Ashutosh, author and political analyst. We're also going to cut across in the studio with me, Rajdeep Sardesai. But Ashutosh, coming to you first. It's risky to personalize an election, but Arvind Kejriwal has done it every time. But this time, the stakes are very, very different, Ashutosh. Do you think it's going to work? And Atishi now in, Arvind Kejriwal out. Ashutosh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Stakes are high, Ashutosh. That's the question. Once again, an attempt to personalize an election, reinvent, re-strategize, recreate the magic. Will it be possible?
See, nothing is impossible in politics and in life and in future. That what is going to happen in another 4 months' time, only the result will tell whether he has tried to reinvent himself, whether he successfully did it. But certainly, yes, Arvind Kejriwal must have realized in his heart that his decision not to resign when he was sent to jail was a historic blunder, and he might have to pay the price for that. So he is trying to undo what he has done earlier, and I think it's a right decision. But in my opinion, it's a desperate call, and it's too little and too late. For a simple reason, because when everybody was saying that he has violated the constitution, when he was shouting from the rooftop that he will run the government from the jail, and he did it. He did it, which is frankly his impossible task, and nobody can do it. When Supreme Court has given him bail in the CBI case and earlier in the ED case, and now after coming out, he must have realized, he must have done some survey, he must have got some feedback that this has really boomerang. Then probably he has tried to correct himself. So I see it from that perspective, but will it really help Kejriwal in assembly election? That is something which has to be seen. It all depends on that how the BJP plays its card and what kind of a strategy they are going to run. If they continue with the Satish Upadhyay in 2015, if they continue with the Manoj Tiwari in 2020, and if they continue with Mr. Sachdeva in 2025, then frankly speaking, I don't see much hope for the BJP. And BJP is again committing the same mistake. They are trying to target Atishi's the parents, which is in a very bad taste. It is not in our culture, in our political culture, that you target somebody's parents because of certain ideology. But it is being done. But that's what the BJP is all about.
You know, I want to bring in Rajdeep Sardesai into this conversation. Rajdeep, Ashutosh seems to think it's too little, too late. Desperate times, desperate measures won't work this time. But if you even hark back in history, Arvind Kejriwal is practically the king of reinvention. He's done it ever since from 2013, made a seamless transition from being a crusader, then to being this person who's taken to the streets to fight for Delhi, then to the chief minister. At one point of time, he was an atheist. Now he's a Hanuman Bhakt. You know, he's got that thing in. He reinvents. Do you think it's possible to do it this time?
2 points, Preeti. One, I agree with Ashutosh that in my view, Arvind Kejriwal should have probably resigned the moment he was arrested. I think once you're arrested and in jail, then to continue to function as chief minister, even before you're convicted, is, I think, inappropriate. It sends out the wrong signal. It sent out the signal that you were sticking to your chair, even though you had been put in jail, had been arrested in the Delhi liquor alleged Delhi liquor policy scam. But I think once he's been out, what he's done in the last 48 hours, I think is the right move. You could call it that it is making a virtue out of a necessity, but it gives Arvind Kejriwal the opportunity now to reposition himself, as you put it, as some kind of back to the basics Aam Aadmi politician. He'll have to leave the chief minister's bungalow. He goes back possibly to a much smaller house, drives the small Maruti. The optics do matter. Arvind Kejriwal will have to reinvent himself once again as an Aam Aadmi. The only way he could have done that, Preeti, was by resigning as chief minister, because now at least he can, at least that charge which the BJP kept making against him, that you're sticking to your chair, you're unwilling to leave your chair, that has gone. Now he will have to fight on his track record, on what his promises are. It won't be easy. Certainly not as easy as it was a decade ago when, Preeti, he was fresh-faced, idealistic, seen as a politician with a different...
A lot of water has flown down the Yamuna.
A lot of water has flown down under the Yamuna, but the fact is, by doing what he has, he gives himself half a chance. And remember, the one thing that is going for him is the fact that the BJP and the Congress in Delhi are not exactly the most robust organizations with a strong leadership. What doesn't go for him is the fact that there will be people who will say, look, we've seen this before, we've heard this before, we think it is a theatrics. There will be a greater element of cynicism as well. So I think Arvind Kejriwal, in the circumstances, has done what any intelligent politician would do, take a gamble. And with Atishi being made the chief minister,
put his neck on the line, the biggest gamble right now.
Yes,
where Arvind Kejriwal
and there are two constituencies, Preeti, where I think the Aam Aadmi Party has taken a bit of a hit. One is the middle class, which drove this agitation of India against corruption. And you could argue there is a potential woman voter out there. Now, will Atishi be able to be seen in just 4 or 5 months as creeping out of Mr. Kejriwal's shadow and attracting these constituencies? Huge question mark. But end of the day, a politician has to work with the weapons he has with him. And at least, whether it's too little, too late, you know, Ashutosh may be proven right in a few months from now. My own sense is Arvind Kejriwal has given himself half a chance to survive.
You know, I know you need to leave, Rajdeep, so I'm going to ask you a very quick question. Atishi to pick as his successor, best bet, safe bet? How do you look at it?
Look, you know, I, as always, seem to get things wrong. I thought that Arvind Kejriwal would pull a rabbit out of the hat. I thought he might go in for a Dalit face. He hasn't. By choosing Atishi, he's chosen a loyalist. He's chosen someone who at least appears credible to the middle class. affluent, intelligent middle class is looking for possibly an Atishi-like figure, well-spoken, well-educated, Rhodes Scholar, someone who claims that she is working on issues of governance. So I think in the circumstances, he's again taken a bit of a gamble. By putting Atishi there. I think Atishi knows she can't create, she's not going to be a Champai Soren. Let's get that very clear. She's not going to try and want to move out of Mr. Kejriwal's shadows. She's very happy being in his shadows. To that extent, Mr. Kejriwal has done what many politicians do in such circumstances. I remember Jayalalitha would have an Paneer Selvam because she knew Paneer Selvam, whatever else, was a loyalist. He's chosen a loyalist. It may anger and antagonize some possible contemporaries and peers, but he didn't have too many choices, and I think again, he's possibly made a relatively safe choice.
Or the best choice that he had in his arsenal. And Ashutosh, I want to bring you in because other than the fact that, administrative-wise, she knows the going-ons, especially in a bureaucracy that is so well entrenched where the LG is concerned. But let me ask you a question. Above all, Ashutosh, this is about loyalty as well. Someone he can blindly trust. You were a part of the Aam Aadmi Party in 2015, Ashutosh, when the likes of Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan were expelled. At that point of time, there was a huge cloud over Atishi. She was removed as spokesperson. Then she wrote that letter which castigated both Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, clearly picking a side where it was Arvind Kejriwal. That was the first loyalty test for Arvind Kejriwal. Do you think that's been the main issue? Loyalty?
Preeti, I will not quarrel on that issue about writing a letter and changing side. That's in the past. I think what the politicians normally commit mistakes when they are at the top is that they choose among their loyalists the most incompetent person. Arvind Kejriwal has done a right thing. Among his loyalists, he has chosen a competent person. And nobody can quarrel on that. That today, Atishi Marlena is one of the competent minister. He knows how to handle ministry. He knows his subject. He's good at administration and is quite firm what she's doing. So I will not say that, what wrong has been done is basically the own Aam Aadmi Party leaders have damaged Atishi and the party also. When they started calling him and giving a hint that she's a dummy candidate. The minute you do that, you are basically trying to tell to the whole world that Atishi is good for nothing. I think that they should have added, that they should have avoided. Otherwise, the kind of academic qualification she has, the kind of mettle she has shown as a minister, it could have added extra brand value to the Aam Aadmi Party. If she was given a little bit more autonomy to run administration,
right,
who knows? She would have been a turning point, not a turning point, but he could have been a critical asset for the Aam Aadmi Party, adding more votes to the Aam Aadmi Party. But the minute you project Atishi as a dummy candidate, as a puppet, as a leg-dumb chief minister, then basically you are not only insulting her, but also insulting the constitutional position and damaging Aam Aadmi Party's brand value too.
Right. Ashutosh, before I let you go, just one quick question. For the senior leadership, which is other than the likes of Arvind Kejriwal, because we do know Manish Sisodia did bat for Atishi, there are quite a few leaders within the Aam Aadmi Party today not very happy at the elevation of Atishi. And that practically showed when the MLA started filing out of Arvind Kejriwal's house after the Legislative Party meeting. Because they all looked slightly resentful and said, "Ab decision ho gaya hai, we have accepted."
That always happens. It's not that if even in a news organization, in any corporate organization, if somebody who has been quite junior, if she's promoted at the top post, then a lot of heartburns do happen, and especially in politics where the chances are very, very few, because for an MLA or MP, he can be once in a 5 years, and there's a very little space in the cabinet also. And here somebody who a few years back was just not in the good book of Arvind Kejriwal. Suddenly she became an MLA and she became a minister. She was holding many portfolios, and then she's elevated as a chief minister. So obviously there will be jealousies, there will be heartburns, there will be resentments. I'm not discounting that. But the fact of the matter is, within few days' time, everybody will reconcile with the fact because everybody has to contest elections and everybody has to come back as an MLA also. And they know that Aam Aadmi Party still has a better chance of coming back to power. I'm not pronouncing any judgment about the future, about the results of the election. But as of now, when you look back, because there's nobody who can beat Arvind Kejriwal in terms of popularity. He's still the most popular leader in Delhi. And if you look at in the Congress or look at in the BJP, there's hardly anybody who can claim to be giving some kind of competition to Arvind Kejriwal. So unless BJP comes out with some very strong face in another few weeks or another few months, and that can give a challenge, that can be a challenge to the Arvind Kejriwal's stature, only then you can see. Otherwise, this happens everywhere. Everybody will fall in line and everybody will concentrate in its constituencies. And many of them are going to lose their candidature also because they will not be getting seats. So those kind of people are having resentment, are disappointed. Doesn't work most of the time.
All right, so everybody will fall in line, and we did see that. Everybody did fall in line eventually. Appreciate you joining us, Ashutosh. We're going to keep a keen eye on all developments. What happens from tomorrow? Possibly it's the next phase of the rollout plan of the Aam Aadmi Party. Mind you, this is a time when, after many, many years, Arvind Kejriwal has his arsenal full. He has his key team back in base. He's got Manish Sisodia, he's got Vijay Nair. They're all back. Vijay Nair now looking at all kinds of communication, making sure that the image of Arvind Kejriwal doesn't suffer. You have Manish Sisodia, who's already on a Padyatra, and all of them looking once again to reinvent. Will they be able to recreate the Aam Aadmi Party magic that we saw over the last 2 times when Arvind Kejriwal was elected? Many say right now the political landscape is a tad bit different. We'll keep a keen eye. A quick break. Stay with us. On the other side, it's To The Point.
Shut the door. Your antics make me bored, cause I just came around to say hello.
Motorola Razr 50. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
India Today Conclave 2024. September 25th and 26th, Mumbai. Book your seat now. Visit indiatodayconclave.com.
आज इन परिस्थितियों में जब उन्होंने अपना इस्तीफा देने का निर्णय लिया, आज विधायक दल की बैठक हुई। विधायक दल की बैठक में सर्वसम्मति से निर्णय हुआ है कि अगले चुनाव तक हम चाहते हैं कि ये चुनाव अक्टूबर-नवंबर में कराए जाए, जल्द से जल्द कराए जाए। जब तक चुनाव नहीं होता है, अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को प्रचंड बहुमत से जनता दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनाती है, तब तक के लिए आतिशी जी को दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में जिम्मेदारी निभाने के लिए प्रस्ताव सर्वसम्मति से पारित हुआ है।
आज एक आंदोलन के बाहरी व्यक्ति को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया जा रहा है, वो भी किस व्यक्ति को, जिसके परिवार ने अफजल गुरु जैसे आतंकवादी को माफी दिलवाने के लिए पिटीशन दायर की थी। आतिशी के माता पिता दोनों ने साइन किया था अफजल गुरु की फांसी रुकवाने के लिए। ऐसी नक्सली मानसिकता को बैकडोर से दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री की कुर्सी पर बैठाने का पाप अरविंद केजरीवाल कर रहे हैं। इस पाप को आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक स्वीकार कर सकते हैं, लेकिन दिल्ली की जनता बैकडोर से किसी नक्सली को दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री बनाए, इसे स्वीकार नहीं करेगी।
दिल्ली के अंदर आम आदमी पार्टी के विधायक दल की बैठक बुलाई गई थी, जिस बैठक में दिल्ली के अगले चुनाव तक मुख्यमंत्री की जिम्मेदारी सर्वसम्मति से आतिशी जी को दी गई है। ये जो जिम्मेदारी दी गई है, आप सब जानते हैं कि एक विषम परिस्थितियों में ये जिम्मेदारी देनी पड़ी है।
डमी सीएम मैं कहूंगा, डमी सीएम आतिशी को मुबारक, लेकिन हालात कुछ नहीं बदलने वाले, क्योंकि हम सबको पता है कि चेहरा आतिशी होंगी, लेकिन पर्दे के पीछे सारा जो खेल है वो अरविंद केजरीवाल रचने वाले हैं। दिल्ली की सबसे भ्रष्टतम सरकार ये है पूरे हिंदुस्तान के अंदर, और जिसको भ्रष्टाचार का खून लग चुका हो ना, वो भ्रष्टाचार से दूर नहीं हो सकते हैं। इसलिए मेरा मानना ये है, भ्रष्टाचार चरम पे रहने वाला है। आप विकास कार्य दिल्ली के अंदर ठप है, और जो अरविंद केजरीवाल के लोग कह रहे हैं कि ये ईमानदार मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगी, उनके ऊपर तो शिक्षा घोटाले का आरोप लगा हुआ है, सीवी की जांच चल रही है, लोकायुक्त में केस चल रहा है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने वो केस किया हुआ है क्लासरूम घोटाले का। तो शिक्षा का हो चाहे कोई मामला हो, चाहे बस घोटाला हो, तमाम तरह के ऐसे हर महकमे के अंदर भ्रष्टाचार है। ये भ्रष्टाचार में लिप्त वो सरकार है। समय आ गया है कि अब चूंकि अब आतिशी मुख्यमंत्री बन गई हैं, रिकमेंड करें चुनाव जल्दी हो जाए। खुद कहती हैं कि दिल्ली में जल्दी चुनाव होने चाहिए, तो रिकमेंड कर दें, चुनौती देता हूँ, कर दें।
Good evening, you're watching To The Point. I am Preeti Choudhry. The latest, of course, is that Atishi is now the Chief Minister designate where Delhi is concerned. Arvind Kejriwal tendered his resignation a short while ago before the Lieutenant Governor and then left without the cavalcade. He came in with an entire cavalcade of the Chief Minister, left with just one car with his driver. No convoy, no cavalcade, back to the Aam Aadmi. Now, there is now a clear attempt to reinvent his image. Will it happen or not? Well, for now, where Delhi is concerned, the governance is in the hands of Atishi. She was unanimously chosen for the Chief Minister post by AAP Netas. Yesterday was the Political Affairs Committee that met and gave its seal of approval for Atishi. Today was the Legislative Party meet. While AAP Netas hailed her elevation, her fellow colleague Maliwal hit out at her, as well as the BJP, calling her a puppet candidate.
मेरे गुरु अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूँ, जिन्होंने मुझे इतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी दी और इस जिम्मेदारी के लिए मुझ पे भरोसा किया।
Delhi gets a new chief minister 5 months before polls. Ruling Aam Aadmi Party has picked Arvind Kejriwal's trusted aide Atishi as his successor, but only till next polls. Atishi had been steering governance when Kejriwal was in jail for 5 months. Soon after getting the mantle, Atishi swore allegiance to Kejriwal.
मैं आज ये जरूर कहना चाहती हूँ आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी विधायकों की तरफ से, दिल्ली की 2 करोड़ जनता की तरफ से, कि दिल्ली का एक ही मुख्यमंत्री है और उस मुख्यमंत्री का नाम अरविंद केजरीवाल है। ऐसे ईमानदार आदमी पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगाए। झूठे केस किए, फर्जी केस किए।
While AAP netas hailed Atishi's elevation as Chief Minister,
सबने एक साथ मिलके आतिशी के नाम पे सहमति जताई।
rebel AAP MP Swati Maliwal attacked Atishi over her family's fight to stop hanging of Parliament attack convict terrorist Afzal Guru.
दिल्ली के लिए एक बहुत दुखद दिन है। आज दिल्ली की मुख्यमंत्री एक ऐसी महिला आतिशी मारलेना जी बनने जा रही हैं जिनके अपने परिवार ने आतंकवादी अफजल गुरु को फांसी की सजा से बचाने के लिए एक लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी। ये कितनी गलत बात है।
BJP questioned Atishi's elevation as Delhi Chief Minister and called her a puppet by Kejriwal, who will just be remote controlled.
फरवरी में चुनाव आने वाले हैं अगले साल, तो दिल्ली के लोग तो मन बना चुके हैं कि केजरीवाल जैसे लोग, आम आदमी जैसे लोगों को कभी भी राजनीति में कभी भी जगह नहीं देना चाहिए।
आज एक आंदोलन के बाहरी व्यक्ति को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया जा रहा है, वो भी किस व्यक्ति को जिसके परिवार ने अफजल गुरु जैसे आतंकवादी को माफी दिलवाने के लिए पिटीशन दायर की थी। ऐसी नक्सली मानसिकता को बैकडोर से दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री की कुर्सी पर बैठाने का पाप अरविंद केजरीवाल कर रहे हैं।
Atishi has strong support of Kejriwal and party top guns. Can she prove to be AAP's Brahmastra? With Amit Bharadwaj and Piyush Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's cut across to Aam Aadmi Party's Rajya Sabha MP Sanjay Singh. He's also a key member of the Aam Aadmi Party PAC, which met yesterday. He's joining us live. Sanjay ji, बहुत शुक्रिया कि आप हमसे जुड़े। संजय जी, आप भी PAC मीटिंग में थे। आज आपकी भी बातचीत हुई होगी अरविंद केजरीवाल जी से, अपने पार्टी मेंबर से। ऐसा क्या था कि आतिशी को प्रेफर किया गया अरविंद केजरीवाल को रिप्लेस करने में?
देखिए, सर्वसम्मति से फैसला हुआ और दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने आतिशी का नाम सारे विधायकों से सहमति लेकर और वहाँ पे तय हुआ। तो ये सर्वसम्मति से फैसला हुआ है। इसमें कहीं कोई किसी के दिमाग में ना कोई दुविधा थी, ना कोई अड़चन था, ना कोई प्रश्न उठा।
संजय जी, क्या लॉयल्टी फैक्टर रहा? क्या ये पहले ही काफी कार्यालय संभाल रही हैं, आतिशी ब्यूरोक्रेसी का काम देखती हैं, तो क्या ये सब फैक्टर्स रहे?
देखिए, अभी जो सबसे बड़ा मुद्दा हम लोगों के सामने है वो मुद्दा है मोदी सरकार की साजिशों का जवाब देने का। वो मुद्दा है मोदी सरकार ने जिस तरह से षड्यंत्र करके अरविंद केजरीवाल जी को गिरफ्तार करके जेल में डाला, एक झूठ का पहाड़ खड़ा किया, एक झूठा केस बनाया, दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री को अंदर किया, दिल्ली के उप मुख्यमंत्री को जेल में भेजा, दिल्ली के स्वास्थ्य मंत्री को जेल में भेजा, मुझे 6 महीने जेल में भेजा। तो जो ये एक बड़ा षड्यंत्र भारतीय जनता पार्टी और मोदी सरकार ने केजरीवाल जी के खिलाफ किया, उसको उजागर करने का जनता की अदालत में जाने का समय है और यह बताने का समय है कि एक ऐसा मुख्यमंत्री जिसने दिल्ली के स्कूल अच्छे किए, बिजली फ्री दिया, पानी फ्री दिया, इलाज फ्री दिया, उस अरविंद केजरीवाल को गिरफ्तार करके मोदी जी ने जेल में डाला क्योंकि पार्टी को खत्म करना चाहते थे, हमारी सरकार को खत्म करना चाहते थे। तो अगले 5 महीने का जो हमारा अभियान होगा वो अभियान होगा अरविंद केजरीवाल जी के नेतृत्व में दिल्ली की जनता की अदालत में जाना और केजरीवाल जी जनता की अदालत से प्रचंड बहुमत का प्रमाण पत्र लेकर आएंगे, दोबारा सीएम की कुर्सी पर बैठेंगे दिल्ली के अंदर और वो सारे काम जो दिल्ली के लोगों के हक में हो रहे थे, 2 करोड़ लोगों के हक में हो रहे थे, फ्री बिजली, फ्री पानी, फ्री शिक्षा, फ्री इलाज, फरिश्ते स्कीम, माताओं बहनों के लिए बस की फ्री यात्रा, ये सारे काम फिर करके दिखाएंगे और चुनौती देंगे नरेंद्र मोदी जी को कि ऐसा काम जो केजरीवाल जी ने किया है और आगे करेंगे वो करके दिखाओ। ये राजनीति करो जो हम करना चाहते हैं।
पर संजय जी, वो चुनौती अभी
बड़ी चुनौती है और इसलिए ये आज खुद जी।
पर संजय जी, चुनौती अभी भी है क्योंकि अगर आतिशी कार्यालय संभाल रही हैं, बिल्स हैं, एक उससे बहुत महत्वपूर्ण फाइल होगी जो आप डायरेक्ट कैश ट्रांसफर सोच रहे हैं महिलाओं को देना 1,000 रुपए का, वो आतिशी जी को सीएम के तौर पर पास करवाना होगा, तो आपको लगता है कि फिर ये जो जंग है एलजीजी के साथ छिड़ जाएगी?
देखिए, मुझे लगता है कि अड़चने तो पहले भी हम लोगों के काम में डाली गई हैं। आपको याद होगा दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री भारत के शायद पहले ऐसे मुख्यमंत्री हैं जो अपने कैबिनेट के साथ 9 दिन तक एलजी के घर में धरने पर बैठे हुए थे। क्यों? क्योंकि दिल्ली के लोगों का काम कराना था, मोहल्ला क्लिनिक का काम, डोर टू डोर राशन की डिलीवरी का काम। तो काम कराना केजरीवाल जी को और आम आदमी पार्टी वालों को आता है। तो जो काम और पेंडिंग पड़े हैं वो काम आगे किए जाएंगे, उसके लिए प्रयास किया जाएगा। और आतिशी जी दिल्ली के 2 करोड़ लोगों के साथ मिलकर इस अभियान को मजबूती देंगे कि 5 महीने के बाद दिल्ली का बेटा, दिल्ली का लाल अरविंद केजरीवाल प्रचंड बहुमत लेके फिर से सीएम की कुर्सी पे बैठे।
भाजपा का कहना है संजय जी कि ये एक इंसल्ट है जो कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल पोस्ट होती है सीएम की, कि आप बता रहे हैं कि ये सीट तो अरविंद केजरीवाल जी की है, इसमें आतिशी बस बैठी हुई हैं और भरत का नाम दे रहे हैं, क्योंकि एक बहुत महत्वपूर्ण पोजीशन होती है दिल्ली का मुख्यमंत्री, उसको डाइल्यूट कर रहे हैं आप।
देखिए, भाजपा क्या कह रही है वो महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है। भाजपा तो कब किसको सीएम बनाती है, किसको हटाती है, वो क्या क्या करती है, कैसे विधायक, भाजपा कोई पार्टी नहीं है। भाजपा एक अपहरण गैंग है। आपने अब तक सुना होगा सोना चोर, बाइक चोर, पैसा चोर, लेकिन ये तो पार्टी चोर है। इन्होंने महाराष्ट्र में शिवसेना चोरी कर ली, एनसीपी चोरी कर ली, किसी का तीर कमान चोरी कर लिया, किसी की घड़ी चोरी कर ली। ये तो पार्टियों को तोड़ने वाली पार्टी है। भाजपा कोई एक अपहरण गैंग है। विधायकों को का अपहरण करना, सांसदों का अपहरण करना, खरीद फरोख्त करना, खोका खोका करना, मध्य प्रदेश की सरकार गिराओ, कर्नाटक की सरकार गिराओ, महाराष्ट्र की गिराओ, गोवा की तोड़फोड़ करके बनाओ, अरुणाचल में गिराओ, उत्तराखंड में, तो यही काम तो किया है पूरे देश भर में। तो इसलिए भाजपा के किसी बात का कोई महत्व नहीं है। भाजपा इस देश में नफरत फैलाने वाली, झगड़ा कराने वाली, लोगों को बांटने वाली और भ्रष्टाचार का कीर्तिमान स्थापित करने वाली पार्टी है। भाजपा क्या बात करेगी? 3,02,000 करोड़ रुपए के ठेके इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड लेकर भाजपा ने दिए हैं पूरे देश में, इसके प्रमाण आ चुके हैं। इस एक्साइज पॉलिसी में
भाजपा ये भी
1 रुपए का प्रमाण
भाजपा ये भी कह रही है कि आपने एक अर्बन नक्सल को
नहीं मिला,
सीएम की पोजीशन पर रख दिया है।
60 करोड़ रुपए, 60 करोड़ रुपए, 60 करोड़ रुपए, इसी मामले में 60 करोड़ रुपए रिश्वत शरद चंद्र रेड्डी से भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने खुलेआम सीना ठोक के चौराहे पे वसूला है इलेक्टोरल बॉन्ड के रूप में। भाजपा क्या बात करेगी?
संजय जी, भाजपा ये भी कह रही है अर्बन नक्सल है आपकी नई सीएम।
किसके बारे में कह रही है? अडवाणी जी के बारे में,
आतिशी जी के बारे में,
की कब्र पे गए थे सजदा करने के लिए, या नरेंद्र मोदी के बारे में कह रही है भाजपा, जो नवाज शरीफ के बर्थडे का केक काटने गए थे बिना बुलाए, या भाजपा मोदी के बारे में कह रही है जिन्होंने आईएसआई जो देश में आतंकवाद को बढ़ाती है, पठानकोट में हमारी शहीदों की जांच करने के लिए बुलाया? किसके बारे में बोल रही है भाजपा? जिन्होंने अफजल गुरु को शहीद मानने वाली पीडीपी के साथ समझौता करने का काम किया, उनका उप मुख्यमंत्री बनाने का काम किया, वो भाजपा ही हमसे बात करेंगे? जिन्होंने देश के आजादी के आंदोलन में गद्दारी करने का काम किया, जिनके पुरखों ने अंग्रेजों की दलाली की, उनसे हमें राष्ट्रवाद सीखना है, ये सिखाएंगे?
संजय जी, आखिरी सवाल करूंगी आपसे। अरविंद केजरीवाल एक काफिला जो सीएम का होता है उसको लेकर एंटर किए थे एलजी के घर पर, निकले एक लौती गाड़ी में अपने ड्राइवर के साथ। एक अटेम्प्ट है रीकास्ट, री इन्वेंट करने का, आम आदमी वापस बनने का, पर कहते हैं कि बहुत देर हो चुकी है, टू लिटिल टू लेट।
देखिए, उन्होंने इस बात की घोषणा की है साफ तौर पे कि जब वो मुख्यमंत्री के पद से त्यागपत्र दे रहे हैं तो मुख्यमंत्री को जो भी मिलने वाली सुविधाएं हैं उसको नहीं ग्रहण करेंगे, उसको छोड़ेंगे।
अब आगे यही एक अटेम्प्ट है संजय जी कि अरविंद केजरीवाल वापस जैसे देखे गए थे 2013 में वो रोल अपनाएंगे, छोटी गाड़ी अपनाएंगे, छोटा घर अपनाएंगे, बाकी फिर लोगों के बीच रहेंगे।
अरविंद केजरीवाल जनता की अदालत में जाएंगे, मोदी जी के साजिशों का खुलासा करेंगे, अमित शाह की साजिशों का खुलासा करेंगे, भारतीय जनता पार्टी के भ्रष्टाचार का खुलासा करेंगे, उनके सरकारों को तोड़ने और संविधान को कुचलने की कार्रवाई का खुलासा करेंगे और जनता की अदालत से अपनी ईमानदारी के प्रमाण पत्र पर प्रचंड बहुमत की मोहर लगवा के दोबारा दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री बनेंगे।
बहुत शुक्रिया संजय जी कि आप हमसे जुड़े, बहुत शुक्रिया, थैंक यू संजय जी। All right, so that was Sanjay Singh. There have been a number of charges that have been laid by the Bharatiya Janata Party when it comes down to not just Atishi. Now the Chief Minister designate of Delhi calling her an urban Naxal, even going out and suggesting that her parents in fact signed in on a petition of mercy for Afzal Guru. They are also now attacking the Aam Aadmi Party for what they say is running a puppet government. That the position of the Chief Minister is a constitutional post and something that was also fueled, by the way, when it came by where the Aam Aadmi Party leaders were concerned. Each of them, some of them who walked out said that this is actually a post for Arvind Kejriwal. Atishi is practically keeping it warm till the time he comes back in. Many would suggest that's an insult, not just to the intelligence of the person you're picking, but also to the post of the Chief Minister of Delhi. Meanwhile, while we elucidated on why pick Atishi, let's take you now on the rise of Atishi, from a grassroots Aam Aadmi Party worker to now Delhi's Chief Minister. Take a look at her journey.
मैं आतिशी मांगीना
Meet the new Chief Minister of Delhi, Atishi. In 2013, she kicked off a political journey with the Aam Aadmi Party and was key in the party's policy formulation. Since then, she has been helping the Aam Aadmi Party in designing its strategies and campaigns for polls. An MLA from Kalkaji, Atishi entered the Delhi cabinet in March 2023 after Sisodia's resignation in connection with the now scrapped Delhi liquor policy case. She became front face of the AAP government ever since Sisodia was jailed. Atishi had stood by AAP when Kejriwal's aide Bibab was accused of assaulting party MP Swati Maliwal. Atishi called Maliwal a BJP agent.
ये पूरा स्वाति मालीवाल जी वाला किस्सा एक षड्यंत्र है जो भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने रचा है। स्वाति मालीवाल जी का जो एसीबी में केस चल रहा है उसको इस्तेमाल करके स्वाति मालीवाल जी को इस पूरे षड्यंत्र का चेहरा बनाया गया होगा। ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी का स्टैंडर्ड ऑपरेटिंग प्रोसीजर है कि वो अलग अलग पार्टी के नेताओं पर, विपक्ष की पार्टियों के नेताओं पर केस करते हैं और उन पर दबाव बनाते हैं।
Atishi also brings unavoidable controversy along with her because of her parents' fight for terrorist Afzal Guru. Her parents wrote mercy petition and fought to stop Afzal Guru's hanging, a fact highlighted by her opponents.
We are unhappy that Afzal has been made, in our political understanding, the scapegoat.
Atishi was the sole woman in Kejriwal's cabinet with at least 14 portfolios as multiple AAP mantris got arrested in scam cases. She began her career working at the grassroots levels before joining AAP. And now she is the Chief Minister of the national capital, even though for a short period. Bureau Report, India Today.
She was not really a part of the India Against Corruption movement. Many of the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party, even today, have come in from that. She actually came in with the likes of Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan, the founding members of the Aam Aadmi Party. They had brought her in, but when they were expelled, Atishi decided to stay and then was picked up as an advisor by Manish Sisodia when it came down to the education department. And since then, it's only been an upwards graph where Atishi's career is concerned. Meanwhile, today, Arvind Kejriwal, along with Atishi, met the Lieutenant Governor Vinay Saxena and resigned as the Chief Minister. He made a similar move in 2013 when he'd resigned in just about 49 days of coming to power. See the special report to know exactly what transpired back then. But many say now a lot of water has flown down the Ramana.
Days after walking out of jail, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal resigned today. The surprise move comes just a few months ahead of assembly elections in the national capital.
मैं तब तक सीएम की कुर्सी पे नहीं बैठूंगा जब तक जनता अपना फैसला ना सुना दे। अगर आप मेरे को वोट देके जिताओगे और अगर आप कहोगे कि केजरीवाल ईमानदार है तो चुनाव के बाद उसके बाद जाके मैं सीएम की कुर्सी पे बैठूंगा, तब तक मैं सीएम की कुर्सी पे नहीं बैठूंगा।
But this is not the first time that Kejriwal has played this ultimate gambit. After he shot into the limelight in 2011 during the Anna Hazare movement, he launched Aam Aadmi Party in 2012. In the 2013 Delhi Assembly polls, Kejriwal formed the government with outside support from the Congress as he fell short of the majority. On 28 December 2013, Kejriwal took oath as Chief Minister of Delhi for the first time.
ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं कि मैं विधि द्वारा स्थापित भारत के संविधान के प्रति सच्ची श्रद्धा और निष्ठा रखूंगा।
However, on 14 February 2014, Kejriwal resigned as Chief Minister of Delhi just 49 days after assuming power. He cited the non-introduction of the Jan Lokpal bill in the assembly, which was stonewalled by both the BJP and the Congress. Soon after this, President's rule was imposed in the national capital. In the run-up to the 2015 Assembly polls, Kejriwal repeatedly apologized to the people for stepping down, terming his 49-day tie-up with the Congress as an honest mistake.
कांग्रेस को लोगों ने क्यों हराया था? क्योंकि कांग्रेस के अंदर अहंकार आ गया। वही भारतीय जनता पार्टी जिसको मई के महीने में लोगों ने इतना भारी बहुमत दिया, आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी को लोगों ने क्यों हराया? क्योंकि बीजेपी के अंदर अहंकार आ गया। पिछले साल हम लोगों को 28 सीटें मिली, लेकिन शायद कहीं ना कहीं हमारी पार्टी के अंदर भी अहंकार आ गया और भगवान ने हमें हमारे अहंकार की सजा दी और लोकसभा के अंदर जो हुआ हमें पता चल गया।
And few days later, Aam Aadmi Party stormed into power once again, winning 67 of the 70 seats, reducing the BJP to 3 seats. The Congress, which lost power at the centre months earlier in the general elections, failed to open its account.
मैं अरविंद केजरीवाल ईश्वर की शपथ लेता हूं।
But a lot has changed since then. The man who emerged as a crusader against corruption is himself in the dock. And Kejriwal has already had 3 stints in office. Can just a resignation be enough to exorcise the ghosts of corruption and anti-incumbency? Bureau Report, India Today.
With that, it's a wrap on this edition of To The Point. Thank you for watching. Up next is Rahul Kapoor.
the coop, but I need some more. My crew gonna wipe the floor. You're gonna weep when I shut the door. Your antics make me bored, cause I just came around to say hello.
Motorola Razr 50. Flip the script.
Hello, Moto.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Arvind Kejriwal resigns from CM post, submits his resignation to LG. PM Modi on Ganesh Puja at CJI's residence, says Congress has problem even attending Puja. SC halls bulldozer justice till 1st October, says illegal demolitions are against constitution.
सबने एक साथ मिलके आतिशी के नाम पे सहमति जताई और उनका
बीजेपी आरोप लगा रही है कि वो डमी सीएम साबित होंगे।
वो बीजेपी का काम है आरोप लगाने का, उनकी कोई चिंता नहीं।
मजबूरी में बनाया है अरविंद केजरीवाल ने, क्योंकि अरविंद केजरीवाल चाहकर भी अपनी मन मर्जी का मुख्यमंत्री नहीं बनवा सके। आतिशी को सारे विभाग दिए गए मनीष सिसोदिया के कहने पर, और मनीष सिसोदिया के दबाव में ही आतिशी को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया गया है। और मैं फिर कह रहा हूं कि चेहरा बदल गया है, लेकिन आम आदमी पार्टी का करैक्टर जो है, भ्रष्टाचारी करैक्टर, वो वहीं का वहीं है और दिल्ली की जनता उस भ्रष्टाचार का हिसाब मांग रही है।
सर, लोकसभा के जब इलेक्शंस हुए थे तब इन्होंने अलायंस किया था कांग्रेस के साथ, लेकिन एक भी महिला का नाम नहीं दिया था। अब एक महिला को सीएम बनाया।
एक महिला को सीएम बनाया, लेकिन आतिशी को जवाब देना पड़ेगा कि जितने टाइम से वो मंत्री हैं, आज दिल्ली की सड़कों की हालत देखिए, PWD विभाग वो देख रही हैं। अभी हमने उस दिन मुंडका से नांगलोई तक का जिक्र किया, दिल्ली की हर सड़क की यही हालत है। शिक्षा का काम आतिशी देख रही थी। 9th क्लास के 1 लाख से ज़्यादा बच्चे फेल हो जाते हैं, 11th क्लास के 54,000 बच्चे फेल कर दिए जाते हैं। तो उनके पेरेंट्स को जवाब तो देना पड़ेगा ना। इनका करैक्टर वही है, भ्रष्टाचार, और भ्रष्टाचार का हिसाब चाहे आतिशी हो, चाहे अरविंद केजरीवाल हो, चाहे मनीष सिसोदिया हो, इन सबको देना पड़ेगा।
Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 34 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 30 and minimum 24 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 25 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 28 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 28 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 30 and minimum 21 degrees.
मेरे गुरु अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूं, जिन्होंने मुझे इतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी दी और इस जिम्मेदारी के लिए मुझ पे भरोसा किया।
Delhi gets a new chief minister 5 months before polls. Ruling Aam Aadmi Party has picked Arvind Kejriwal's trusted aide Atishi as his successor, but only till next polls. Atishi had been steering governance when Kejriwal was in jail for 5 months. Soon after getting the mantle, Atishi swore allegiance to Kejriwal.
मैं आज ये जरूर कहना चाहती हूँ आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी विधायकों की तरफ से, दिल्ली की 2 करोड़ जनता की तरफ से, कि दिल्ली का एक ही मुख्यमंत्री है और उस मुख्यमंत्री का नाम अरविंद केजरीवाल है। ऐसे ईमानदार आदमी पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगाए, झूठे केस किए, फर्जी केस किए।
While AAP netas hailed Atishi's elevation as Chief Minister,
सबने एक साथ मिलके आतिशी के नाम पे सहमति जताई।
rebel AAP MP Swati Maliwal attacked Atishi over her family's fight to stop hanging of Parliament attack convict terrorist Afzal Guru.
दिल्ली के लिए एक बहुत दुखद दिन है। आज दिल्ली की मुख्यमंत्री एक ऐसी महिला आतिशी मारलेना जी बनने जा रही हैं, जिनके अपने परिवार ने आतंकवादी अफजल गुरु को फांसी की सजा से बचाने के लिए एक लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी। ये कितनी गलत बात है।
BJP questioned Atishi's elevation as Delhi Chief Minister and called her a puppet by Kejriwal, who will just be remote controlled.
फरवरी में चुनाव आने वाले हैं अगले साल, तो दिल्ली के लोग तो मन बना चुके हैं कि केजरीवाल जैसे लोग, आम आदमी जैसे लोगों को कभी भी राजनीति में कभी भी जगह नहीं देना चाहिए।
Atishi has strong support of Kejriwal and party top guns. Can she prove to be AAP's Brahmastra? With Amit Bharadwaj and Piyush Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Presented by RP Sanjeev Goenka Group, Growing Legacies.
Co-presented by Club Prime, Raho Befikar. Co-presented by New Seltos with Kia Connect. Tech is now badass. Co-powered by The Bold Look of Kohler.
Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party have decided that Atishi will be the new Chief Minister of Delhi. How do the voters and citizens of Delhi look at this decision by the Aam Aadmi Party? The results of this week's political stock exchange, fresh from the polling agency, coming out right here live tonight on the News Track.
Kejriwal quits. Atishi is now Delhi CM. Should Kejriwal have resigned earlier? What impact will resignation have on polls? Has Kejriwal, Kattar Imandar image taken a hit? What do the citizens of Delhi think? First and only tracker on Kejriwal's gambit. Political stock exchange.
Here's a look at the headlines I'm tracking tonight. Atishi stakes claim as new Chief Minister of Delhi. Says Kejriwal will return after the elections. BJP slams the appointment, brands Atishi an urban Naxal. Fallout of the doctors' protest in Bengal, Kolkata top cop shunted out. Manoj Verma takes over as the new commissioner. Health department also gets a new head. Supreme Court urges doctors to end the strike and return to work. Prime Minister Modi hits out over the uproar over his visit to the Chief Justice's residence. Says Congress and its ecosystem upset with Ganesh Puja because they want to divide society.
आज भी समाज को बांटने और तोड़ने में लगे सत्ता के भूखे लोगों को गणेश पूजा से परेशानी हो रही है। Modi 3.0 completes its first 100 days in office.
Home Minister Shah vows the Waqf bill will be reality soon, says one nation, one election will be implemented in this tenure of the Modi government. Top court puts the brakes on bulldozer action across the country till the 1st of October, except in case of encroachment of public spaces. Supreme Court says there has been glorification of bulldozer action. Before I bring you the results of this week's political stock exchange, let me take you through our top story tonight. Arvind Kejriwal has quit as Delhi's chief minister. He's handed over the reins of the capital to his loyalist and trusted aide Atishi. Both the ex-CM and the new CM met the Delhi Lieutenant Governor today. The Aam Aadmi Party has put its weight behind Atishi, but the party has declared that Kejriwal will be back in the CM's chair soon. The BJP is calling the change of guard cosmetic, claiming that AAP will continue to be corrupt. Here's how the Delhi political drama unfolded through the day today.
मेरे गुरु अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूं, जिन्होंने मुझे इतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी दी और इस जिम्मेदारी के लिए मुझ पे भरोसा किया.
Delhi gets a new chief minister 5 months before polls. Ruling Aam Aadmi Party has picked Arvind Kejriwal's trusted aide Atishi as his successor, but only till next polls. Atishi had been steering governance when Kejriwal was in jail for 5 months. Soon after getting the mantle, Atishi swore allegiance to Kejriwal.
मैं आज ये जरूर कहना चाहती हूँ आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी विधायकों की तरफ से, दिल्ली की 2 करोड़ जनता की तरफ से, कि दिल्ली का एक ही मुख्यमंत्री है और उस मुख्यमंत्री का नाम अरविंद केजरीवाल है. ऐसे ईमानदार आदमी पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगाए, झूठे केस किए, फर्जी केस किए.
While AAP netas hailed Atishi's elevation as chief minister,
सबने एक साथ मिलके आतिशी के नाम पे सहमति जताई.
Rebel AAP MP Swati Maliwal attacked Atishi over her family's fight to stop hanging of parliament attack convict terrorist Afzal Guru.
दिल्ली के लिए एक बहुत दुखद दिन है. आज दिल्ली की मुख्यमंत्री एक ऐसी महिला आतिशी मारलेना जी बनने जा रही हैं, जिनके अपने परिवार ने आतंकवादी अफजल गुरु को फांसी की सजा से बचाने के लिए एक लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी. ये कितनी गलत बात है.
BJP questioned Atishi's elevation as Delhi chief minister and called her a puppet by Kejriwal, who will just be remote controlled.
फरवरी में चुनाव आने वाले हैं अगले साल, तो दिल्ली के लोग तो मन बना चुके हैं कि केजरीवाल जैसे लोग, आम आदमी जैसे लोगों को कभी भी राजनीति में कभी भी जगह नहीं देना चाहिए.
आज एक आंदोलन के बाहरी व्यक्ति को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया जा रहा है, वो भी किस व्यक्ति को, जिसके परिवार ने अफजल गुरु जैसे आतंकवादी को माफी दिलवाने के लिए पेटिशन दायर की थी. ऐसी नक्सली मानसिकता को बैकडोर से दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री की कुर्सी पर बैठाने का पाप अरविंद केजरीवाल कर रहे हैं.
Atishi has strong support of Kejriwal and party top guns. Can she prove to be AAP's Brahmastra? With Amit Bharadwaj and Piyush Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
Atishi is Delhi's new chief minister. Kejriwal says he wants to undergo an Agni Pariksha. The Aam Aadmi Party has taken this decision. What do the voters and citizens of Delhi think of this idea? Joining us now on this week's edition of the Political Stock Exchange, I want to welcome our guests. We have Amitabh Tiwari, well-known political analyst with us. Jasmine Shah is the chief spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party. We've got Tuhin Sinha from the BJP. I have Ashutosh, who's a political analyst, has been in the AAP in the past. And I want to tell our viewers that this poll was done today. So I put the questions together yesterday. We put it into the C-Voter CATI telephonic tracker through the day today. It has a margin of error of plus and minus 5%. And remember, even though Delhi has a lot of social media and digital and television proliferation, you don't have adequate time for this information to seep in because this information was announced today. That's when this poll has been done. So keep that in mind as you look at these initial set of responses. Let's get started. Do you think Kejriwal should have resigned before going to jail? Hemant Soren, for example, when this question was asked to a sample of about 1,500 respondents, these were the answers. The last table, the last column is of the average, the weighted average of all the different types of voters. 49% of the overall respondents feel that Kejriwal should have resigned before going to jail. Naturally, amongst BJP respondents, almost 80% are saying isko pehle hi jana chahiye tha, but that's obvious because they're antagonistic towards Kejriwal. Amongst AAP voters, which is more significant, about 1/3 say he should have resigned before going to jail. Amongst Congress voters, interestingly, very few say he should have resigned earlier. 87% saying no, he should not have resigned. So that's question number one, where the net response is 49% saying if he had to resign, he should have resigned before going to jail. Should Arvind Kejriwal have recommended the dissolution of the assembly along with his resignation? He's called, remember, for early polls, but should he have asked for the assembly itself to be dissolved along with and held elections held along with Jharkhand and Maharashtra? Here, 40% of the total respondents say yes, he should have also dissolved the Delhi assembly. 19% say no. Amongst the AAP voters, the response is more muted. 33% saying he should have dissolved the assembly. Naturally, amongst BJP voters, they're itching for an early election. 50% saying he should have dissolved the assembly now rather than delay this. I want to come to the next question. What impact do you think Kejriwal's resignation could have on the next assembly election in the capital? It enhances AAP's chances of winning, is the response of 31% of the respondents. It will have a somewhat negative impact, will be the response of 29% of the respondents. No noticeable impact is the response of 19% of the respondents. That being said, let me now go across first to Amitabh Tiwari to try and distill the first set of responses that I've put out. It seems to me that about half the respondents believe that he should have resigned before going to jail. If he really wanted to uphold public morality, rather than do this now, he should have resigned before going to jail. What do you make of these responses? Amitabh Tiwari.
Yeah, essentially almost half of the people believe that he should have resigned earlier, which gives credence to BJP's charge that this could be a political gimmick. What is worrying for the Aam Aadmi Party is that even 1/3 of their own voters believe that he should have resigned before going to the jail. On the second question, whether the dissolution of the assembly should have taken place, here also, if you see, amongst AAP supporters, the people who believe that he should have dissolved the Delhi assembly, which is again 1/3, is 10% higher than what the other voters are saying, which is no, he should not have dissolved the assembly. So of these responses, what is worrying for the Aam Aadmi Party is that a higher number or a significant number of voters believe that he should have resigned or he should have dissolved the
Let me get Jasmine Shah to respond to the first response, where you've got 1/3 of AAP voters and 50% of the overall voters saying if Kejriwal wanted to resign, he should have resigned when he went to jail, not now.
Rahul, first of all, I take all these surveys with a pinch of salt, especially when they are not face-to-face survey and done over telephone. You know, representativeness, sample size, different cross-sections of social economic strata, all those questions come in. But having said that, see, there has been a general tendency for people, and I would say this is before the present BJP regime, which has turned the entire investigative agency and the work on its head. You know, people believe that once you even press or accuse someone, and if CBI and ED register a case against someone, there is something. But now slowly people have started believing, and they are seeing this as an example in this so-called the fake Delhi liquor case, that for the last 2 years BJP has been yelling from the rooftops that a huge scam has taken place, huge scam has taken place, but in 2 years they have not been able to find any evidence or any money recovery. And now the Supreme Court, this has not happened for the past 10 years. After 10 years, Supreme Court has been compelled to call the investigative agencies of this country as a caged parrot. Remember, this was Mr. Modi, Prime Minister Modi and Chief Minister Modi earlier used to call CBI and target UPA for being a caged parrot. Today, these comments are being made of the Supreme Court. So, yes, part of our public outreach narrative, and this is exactly what Mr. Kejriwal plans to do, that he wants to take this fight to the people. He's going to tell the people why did he not resign earlier? Because if he had resigned earlier, Rahul, you know that today there are cases against Mamta Didi, Pinarayi Vijayan, Hemant Soren, obviously. All the chief ministers would be put in jail. Why? Because there's a fake ED case, fake CBI case.
Deshmukh come in on
हरा
this.
नहीं सकते, उनको जेल में डालो और वो सरकारी गिरा दो.
Jasmine's argument is basically, and it's reflected in the data, that people at this moment, because it happened just today, which is when you ran the sample, are a bit confused. It's a very mixed picture on most questions, which basically means they haven't made a firm position. They're going along with their political biases. It's not clear. Jasmine's argument is, we will build on this, which is why Kejriwal is resigned, because narrative mahal banane se banta hai. Now we've got an opportunity to go out and try and build the narrative the way Kejriwal thinks is best for AAP.
Well, Rahul, I actually look this data as more giving me indication of a pro-AAP sentiment and pro-Kejriwal sentiment rather than a negative sentiment. Because you just mentioned that the Congress supporters are giving a much bigger sweeping remark that he did the right thing to be there, because they are big-time anti-BJP voters. But as far as Aam Aadmi Party vote share in Delhi is concerned, we know that a significant chunk of that base also votes for BJP in the Lok Sabha election. So that 1/3 of the AAP support base, which is saying that he should have resigned, I am not surprised by that, because first of all, it is an anti-Congress, anti-BJP chunk which is with them, and it is probably that kind of moralistic chunk which got attracted to Aam Aadmi Party because of the Andolan, Anna Andolan, and so on and so forth. But having said that, Rahul, what tells me from the question that what the impact is gonna have, the second option is looking like somewhat negative, but the full line is that somewhat negative, but Aam Aadmi Party will remain the major force. So if you look at it that way, I see only 31% in the sample actually, which is like big time anti-AAP or anti-Kejriwal in that way. What it does is that it makes this entire game, entire thing finally balanced. It is pretty much like the BJP. Like without Narendra Modi, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, BJP has no gain anywhere. Similarly, without Arvind Kejriwal, Aam Aadmi Party has no game in Delhi. So it's the question of the leadership, and it's gonna be around Arvind Kejriwal. And let me point out this thing. Then the last 10 years, Rahul, we do twice every year the MOTN. So it's about between 2014 and 24. Right now, we are looking at almost like 20 rounds of MOTN. And I don't remember a single time when Arvind Kejriwal was out of the top 5 chief ministers in India. So just like at the national level, Prime Minister Modi is extremely popular as the chief ministerial candidate.
So Ashutosh, do you think this creates some distance between Kejriwal and anti-incumbency? Naturally, after 10 years of being in power, a certain amount of anti-incumbency builds up against all leaders and parties. By leaving the chief minister's chair, has Kejriwal been able to create some distance between governance, anti-incumbency and his own political persona?
See, Rahul, the most important thing is that Delhi election will be all about Narendra Modi, all about Arvind Kejriwal. It's like parliament election. Where in the parliament election, Mr. Modi was the issue, and in Assembly Delhi, Arvind Kejriwal will be an issue. So I think Arvind Kejriwal must have done some kind of survey, must have got some feedback from the ground that if he is continuing as a chief minister, then it will harm the party. And I'm saying this with confidence, not that I'm some here and there. Because only then he had decided to resign and throw an emotional card trying to connect with the people that, look, I am not here to run after the office. I am here to resign. Because he committed the blunder when he was being arrested. If at that point of time he had resigned, then probably people would have thought that here is our leader who is not running after the office. Look at this. 10 years is a pretty long time in politics, in government, to create a kind of anti-incumbency. Narendra Modi could not. Narendra Modi had that kind of anti-incumbency. He faced that. So Arvind Kejriwal will certainly face that. But problem with Arvind Kejriwal is that now there are the serious corruption charges, and I'm not saying that it's liquor policy which is going to damage them. The more he has been damaged by the Sheesh Mahal, because it has a visual impact, and visually people are not willing to believe that the man who used to say that he should stay in a 2-room flat suddenly has spent 45 crore. It's the visual impact which is must have damaged him, and that is why he decided to relinquish the post and let Atishi become the chief minister. But again, the party has done a damage by calling her a kind of a dummy candidate, a dummy chief minister. If Atishi would have been allowed to create some kind of brand value for herself and a kind of autonomy, then probably Atishi as a clean face would have added certain value to the Aam Aadmi Party.
Let Jasmine Shah respond to what Ashutosh is saying, that you've already rendered her a lame duck chief minister by making it clear that she's just holding the chair like Bharat for Ram till Kejriwal comes again. You've essentially said, CM to Kejriwal hi honge, kursi pe jo marji baitha. The moment your leaders say that, you made your own new appointee rather ineffective and a lame duck CM.
Well, that can be Ashutosh's opinion, but if you ask and if you go in the streets of Delhi, Rahul, every single person has chosen Arvind Kejriwal to be his chief minister. As just Yashwant Deshmukh ji just said, that he has consistently, for the past 10 years, he has been amongst the most popular chief ministers in the country. Mandate-wise, he has 90% assembly seats in Delhi. No chief minister in the history of India has won such a mandate. So why shouldn't when people voted in 2020, they didn't vote for XYZ, they voted for Arvind Kejriwal ji. And he has resigned because he took it upon himself as a moral, fight that I will go to the people and seek my mandate against. Nobody had asked him to do it. So obviously everybody knows that the rightful person in this place should be Arvind Kejriwal. He has run a clean administration. He has done the kind of things that no government in this country has ever done. He has given free services to the poor. He has turned around government schools, health, hospitals, clinics, etc. Why should we not be grateful that today you have a chief minister like him who is delivering and who is as honest as anybody else in the country? So, let's not make a big issue out of this that, oh, Kejriwal ji chale gaye, lekin unke piche koi aa raha hai. Atishi ji, and let me just be very clear, for the last 2 years, ever since Atishi has been a minister in Delhi government, she has a tremendous track record. She has worked on education. She has single-handedly managed many important departments. She is a lady in her own, might. But let's not trivialize and say that she will not be able to take any decisions.
No, but your own leader said it.
Undisputed leader.
Jo bhi ho CM, asli CM to Kejriwal hi honge, was said by Saurabh Bhardwaj of the Aam Aadmi Party this morning. So that's a legitimate argument that Ashutosh was making, because that's the positioning and the messaging from the AAP itself. Tuhin Sinha, when we asked the question, what impact do you think Kejriwal's resignation will have on the opposition, in particular the BJP? Here are the responses. 32% say it will strengthen the BJP, 30% say it will weaken the BJP's momentum, 20% say there will be no impact, 5% think it will create confusion. In a sense, if I compare 32 versus 30, there isn't much there. I mean, voters quite confused. Overall voters, amongst BJP voters, obviously they think it will strengthen the BJP. But if you look at the overall percentage of voters, there seems to be a high degree of confusion about whether Kejriwal's resignation will benefit the opposition or weaken the opposition.
Well, good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. An incapacitated or a defunct chief minister quitting does not make any difference. The right time for Kejriwal to quit was in March when he was first arrested. And now when he has quit, obviously because the Supreme Court has not left him with much option, he's trying to make virtue out of necessity. But now when he has quit, when he's out of jail, it is very clear, and as the Aam Aadmi Party makes no effort to hide it, that Atishi will be a well-educated Rabri Devi. But again, who has Arvind Kejriwal chosen? The most corrupt person. What has Atishi done in the last 6 months? She has presided over allegedly an 80 crore racket involving the PWD ministry, where desilting of drains did not happen. So what you saw, the catastrophe that you saw in July, was a completely man-made catastrophe. In fact, Tanish Tiwari, a UPSC aspirant, 3 days before the incident took place, where 3 UPSC aspirants died in flooding, she had specifically written to the PWD ministry, and there was no response. So I think, not only is Atishi corrupt like all Aam Aadmi Party leaders, she is also grossly incompetent. And, I think more importantly, I think she has to make her stand clear on her parents' mercy petition involving Afzal Guru.
So let Jasmine Shah respond to the BJP's charge branding Atishi some kind of a Marxist Leninist, saying that's how she got the name Marlena, that her parents signed off on a petition for mercy for Afzal Guru. Ye to communist hai, she's extreme left, and they're basically trying to tarnish the image of Delhi's new chief minister.
Rahul, it is no surprise that BJP hates to see women in power. Absolutely, जो महिला विरोधी इनकी सोच है. Today also, it's not just the whole through the day there has been character assassination going on of Atishi. Why? Because in 22 states, BJP has governments. Not in a single state they have a woman chief minister. When our Olympic medalists and women were alleging sexual harassment, who does BJP stand with? They'll stand with the perpetrator. So this is, this is now almost expected, and I'm glad that Tuhin today made the stand very clear that we were anti-women and we continue to be anti-women. And now when you talk about corruption charges, now they are saying Atishi is also corrupt. The point here is, Rahul, that for the last 10 years, every single day they have been alleging AAP is corrupt, AAP is corrupt. You have all the powers, Tuhin ji. You have ED, CBI, IT. In the last 10 years, what were you guys doing? You should have investigated, Rahul, finished it, convicted some of our leaders.
Okay, let Tuhin Sinha respond before I take the next question.
This shows that people today laugh at you.
Just 20
when
seconds.
You make corruption allegations, people laugh at you that this is nothing
rebuttal?
But your desperation.
Can I get a 20-second rebuttal?
Go for it,
Rahul, did you hear me use the word Naxal? Did you hear me use the word Naxal or leftist? But if the parents of an incumbent chief minister have written
you use that against Arvind Kejriwal ji in 20.
Jasmine Shah, let Tuhin Sinha speak. Jasmine's fader goes down. Let Tuhin speak.
If the parents of an incumbent chief minister have written a mercy petition in favor of Afzal Guru without taking the oath of office, shouldn't she specify her position on this important issue concerning national security? I have never used the word Marxist. I have never used the word urban Naxal for her, but it's an important issue. It's a grave issue concerning national security, and I think before she takes oath of office, she should specify.
You may not have called her an urban Naxal, but I heard an interview with the BJP state president. He certainly did. But let me put this question to Ashutosh. Ashutosh, you worked with Atishi. It is a fact her parents have an ideological bent which is highly leftist and communist. They did also, it's a fact, sign a petition, mercy petition for Afzal Guru. Do you think that impacts how the voters of Delhi perceive their new chief minister or not really? You're on mute, Ashutosh.
Rahul, let me speak for at least for a minute. I think Atishi is an excellent choice as the chief minister. The kind of educational qualification she had, I think very few in the BJP can match. She has a very extremely clean image. She's an extremely good administrator, and she has proved as a minister in holding the different charges. About the charges, corruption charges, I think if there had been any corruption charges, by now the BJP would have put her in jail. The point number two, I think it's very sad to see this, that the old parents of Atishi has been maligned like anything. They are creating a hatred against their parents. And I'm really worried about the security of the parents, that if you're creating something like this, this should have been avoided. The politics with Atishi should have been fought with Atishi itself, not with her parents. And this is despicable, and I have said it in as many words. The point number two, in 2015, when I was in Aam Aadmi Party, our Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Modi, at the peak of his popularity, had said, Arvind Kejriwal is a Naxal, his place is in jungles. What happened? People had given mandate for the Naxal, who should be in jungle, got 67 seats out of 70. BJP is committing a mistake again. The more you will target Atishi, the more Atishi will benefit, the more Aam Aadmi Party will benefit. This Naxal discourse has not worked in Delhi, will not work. The ideally is the 10 years anti-incumbency, which will work against the Aam Aadmi Party. If the BJP targets and the working in the delivery of the government, that would be much better strategy than calling somebody Naxal, anti-national. I think that's enough. Yeah? Don't spare the parents or old parents. Don't do this. This is really sad.
Okay. You know, has Kejriwal's image as a kattar imandar, a highly honest person, taken a hit because of his jail term? 37% of the overall respondents in Yashwant Deshmukh's poll say yes, it's been a blot on his reputation. 37% say no, it's not had an impact. He's yet to be proven guilty. Party image has taken a beating as other AAP leaders have been named in the corruption case, say 18% of the respondents. So again, the question, as I said earlier, the responses seem to be quite divided. The big challenge, Yashwant Deshmukh, for the BJP is who do they pull out? You know, they've tried different options from Kiran Bedi to Dr. Harshvardhan, Vijay Goyal. They've tried different options. None of them have been able to really stand up and answer Arvind Kejriwal. Do you see anyone in the BJP who can do it? I know the name of Smriti Irani, for example, has been mentioned in passing by some in the BJP. Who can potentially within the BJP take on Kejriwal's personality? Because without that, they'll struggle to answer the question like the opposition struggles to take on Modi in a national election.
Absolutely, I agree with you, because the problem is that since 1998 till to 2024, I mean, it's like if you look into the entire 30 years of Delhi politics, only once in all these years did the BJP manage to come up as a single largest party, probably short by 3 seats to the majority. That was in 2013. And the person who took BJP to that far was Dr. Harshvardhan, out and out organization party man, and I don't think anybody else is there right now with the BJP, but Harshvardhan has been parked. You know, he has been kind of one step short of sending him to Ramadashak Mandal, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, I mean, and there is no other name as such. So I don't know. Maybe it is the politics of default, with the opposition is hoping all the time at the national level that the BJP is hoping for the same in national capital at this point of time. And I don't know whether that be successful or not, because yeah, I understand 10 years of incumbency is a lot.
How important, Amitabh Tiwari, is for the BJP to be able to throw up a name, a face who can take on Kejriwal's personality? Should they just go fight on the basis of 10 years of anti-incumbency, these charges of corruption, or do you think the BJP desperately needs a heavyweight face to take on Kejriwal's personality?
See, I think the 2024 Lok Sabha election results have shown that even the national elections have become less presidential. So BJP had a leader, but there was significant anti-incumbency against the MPs, and the opposition was able to make the election local. So here as well, as Sir has said, BJP is struggling for a leader. It does not have a leader to match Arvind Kejriwal's charisma. Arvind Kejriwal realizes that not only there is anti-incumbency against himself, but against the MLAs, because they have been, most of them have been two-term MLAs with 10 years in power. So to neutralize this, I think BJP will have to make the election local. Arvind Kejriwal wants to make this election presidential upon himself. That is why perhaps he has resigned and wants to take the media attention and the limelight, while BJP will have to go for a very seat-by-seat localized kind of election to exploit the anti-incumbency.
Ashutosh, you understand the ins and outs of Delhi politics. You fought an election here. Can the BJP, as Amitabh Tiwari suggests, fight on the basis of 10 years of anti-incumbency, and that's a big enough plank added with corruption to take on the BJP? Or do they need like an X factor, like Sushma Swaraj or maybe a Smriti Irani to come in and be their face?
See, all said and done, I think BJP needs a very strong face, and I think Smriti Irani fits that bill. Why I'm saying so? Because if you carefully look at the Delhi voters' response, in 2013, BJP got 32% vote share. In 2014, they got 56% vote share. In 2015, they got 33% vote share. In 2019, they got again 54% vote share. Then in 2020, Assembly election, they got 37% votes, and recent MCD election, BJP got 39%. That shows that the BJP has got certain substantial loyalty of voter, which is something around 36-37% vote share. Aam Aadmi Party vote share has been fluctuating from 54% to 18% in 2019 parliamentary elections. Again, it came to 40% in the MCD election. So the loyalty with the Aam Aadmi Party voters is very fragile and very fickle. Where the BJP is placed with 36-37% solid voters loyalty. If they can add a good face in Delhi, then probably that good face can not only can challenge the BJP, but can get extra 4-5% vote share. If that happens, then Aam Aadmi Party is certainly in trouble this time, and they will be in trouble. I have no doubt on that score.
Will you concede, Tuhin Sinha, on camera as well, that no matter what you say, most people watching at this time will believe that the BJP doesn't have a face, somebody who can take on Kejriwal's personality. Like the opposition doesn't have a face, or in the Lok Sabha didn't have a answer to Narendra Modi, a leader at the same level of stature. You don't have someone who can take on Kejriwal.
Well, Rahul, I have a simple question for you. 1 year ago, around this time, would you have known that Mohan Yadav would be the Chief Minister of Madhya Pradesh, that Bhajan Lal Sharma would be the Chief Minister of Rajasthan, and Mohan Charan Majhi would be the Chief Minister of Orissa? You know, BJP is a blessed organization. We produce leaders very effortlessly. Over here, the issues are more important. The level of corruption...
Can I pause you to say, you don't produce leaders effortlessly, you appointed a leader effortlessly because you had Modi and Shah to make that happen.
Well.
Can they win on their own? Take Messrs. Modi and Shah out of the equation. Can any of the worthies that you just named win an assembly election on their own steam like Kejriwal can?
The issues over here are far graver, far more important. The levels of corruption which an Aam Aadmi Party, which had come, supposedly to purge politics, has indulged in, is simply unacceptable, and people are not going to forgive them. I am telling you for a fact that there used to be a Zamanat Jabt party outside Delhi. In a large number of constituencies within Delhi this time, the anger is so huge that they're going to be a Zamanat Jabt party within Delhi in a large number of constituencies. And in such a situation, the sentiment is far more important than the leader.
Okay. Now, who's the most suitable to succeed Kejriwal? This question was part of the deck that I sent Yashwant. That question has now been answered, but it gives you a sense of who voters wanted. Okay, so let me take you through the responses. 22% of the respondents wanted Atishi. Atishi is the one who's come in. Saurabh Bhardwaj was the choice of 8% of the respondents. Raghav Chadha 6%. Sunita Kejriwal 17%. Gopal Rai 5%. Sanjay Singh 7%. So I'm sure you would have done your own analysis, Jasmine, but the poll suggests that if not Kejriwal, our sample suggests that Atishi was in fact the first choice.
Well, that's good. I think that your poll has matched the judgment of the entire Aam Aadmi Party leadership, because this was a call where the Political Affairs Committee chipped in, the existing cabinet chipped in, all the individual MLAs were asked. And finally, obviously, Mr. Arvind Kejriwal has taken a very important decision, because, mind you, the remaining term of the AAP government may be a few months, but BJP and LG are trying to stop each and every work of the AAP government. Be it drain cleaning. As simple a matter as drain cleaning, the officers have today refused to respond to the minister's, request for data or information on what is the status on the ground. The schemes like free electricity and water, there is a threat that they may be stopped any time. So you do need a capable minister, as everybody has noted that Atishi ji has been part of the cabinet. She has the largest portfolio, and the kind of background that she comes from, a Rhodes Scholar, St. Stephen's graduate, studied at Oxford, Cambridge. She is a highly capable woman, and we are very confident that for the remaining few months, not only will we keep the work of Mr. Kejriwal intact, but many other things that are in the pipeline will also be executed. And at the same time, our collective effort will be to go to the people of Delhi, explain to them why Mr. Kejriwal had to take this decision, because they had voted for Mr. Kejriwal, and seek their blessing again.
Okay.
And this is what the beauty of democracy is.
You know the ins and outs of the AAP. What kind of a chief minister is Atishi likely to be? How much in sync is she with her supreme leader Arvind Kejriwal? And what are her strengths and weaknesses?
No, I think if Arvind Kejriwal has appointed her as a chief minister, that means Arvind Kejriwal has 100% confidence in her. And other than the loyalty factor, I think she's a very capable woman. And she has handled the port. See, after Arvind Kejriwal, it was Manish Sisodia who was considered to be extremely good administrator. I think Atishi has taken his place. And today, if you look at the way she has conducted as a minister, she knows how the work should be done. So I think it's a very good choice. It's excellent choice. There's no doubt about it. My only worry is that if Atishi would have been given more autonomy in kinds of dealing with the post and dealing with the people, she would have certainly added more value to the post and should have attracted more of an urban middle class anglicized voters to the Aam Aadmi Party, because she has that charisma in that sense. What should be more worrying for the BJP, for the Aam Aadmi Party this time, will be because the Congress is going to play some spoiling game in Delhi. Because there is a serious doubt in the minds of the minorities in Delhi about the Aam Aadmi Party because of the northeastern riots and northeast riot, and then Congress is on the rise across the country. So in Delhi, if they get another 7-8% votes, like last time they got only 4%. So if they goes to 15%, that vote will be taken away from the Aam Aadmi Party. That's what I'm saying. Aam Aadmi Party is in trouble this time. If BJP can throw a strong leader like Smriti Irani or somebody like her, then Aam Aadmi Party will certainly struggle.
On a different note to end, it was in 2002 that I'd gone on a Shivning fellowship to the United Kingdom and studied over there. Atishi happens to be a Shivning fellow, and I think it'll be arguably the first time a Shivning fellow has become chief minister of any state. So it's good that somebody who's a Rhodes Scholar, Shivning fellow, is now chief minister of Delhi. Whether she can do something, the fact is several times it is said that just because you're educated doesn't really make much of a difference. Whether she can bring her higher educational qualifications to bear and make a difference is something we will see in time to come. Yashwant, I'm out of time. Are you a Shivning fellow as well?
Very quickly, Rahul,
yes.
that one should look at her on her own merit, not what her parents were. I mean, this is high time we should take these things out.
Oh, most certainly.
I mean, that way.
No, and also, hard work versus Harvard, farak padta hai ki nahi, Rhodes Scholar, Shivning fellow, does it make a difference or not? We're just about to find out. That, I think, might be of some interest to viewers of India Today. I'm not sure it's of much interest to the larger Aam Aadmi voters of the capital, but it'll be interesting to see how somebody who is as educated and qualified as her delivers in the real thrust and cut of actually being a chief minister on the hot chair. Well, we wish you all the best, and I want to thank our guests for joining us and Yashwant and his team for turning this poll around in such quick time. So thank you. Appreciate the effort by the folks at C Voter. We're slipping into a break. I'll have more for you. I'll be in conversation with Senior Union Minister Piyush Goyal, Minister for Commerce and Industry. Just remember, this is the 100-day anniversary of Modi 3.0. We'll get a sense of how one of the big guns of the Modi government looks at what's happened, good, bad, ugly, in the last 100 days and the agenda for the next 4+ years. Mr. Minister Goyal coming up on the other side of a quick break.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
India Today Conclave 2024, September 25th and 26th, Mumbai. Book your seat now. Visit indiatodayconclave.com.
To talk about all that's happened in the first 100 days of Modi 3.0, we are joined live and exclusive on India Today at this time by one of the senior-most ministers in the Narendra Modi government, Minister for Commerce and Industry, the BJP Lok Sabha MP from North Mumbai, Piyush Goyal. Piyush ji, welcome, and it's great to have you with us. And congratulations as your government celebrates its first 100 days in office for the third time. You know, I want to start by asking you, Piyush ji, ironically, what seems to have been the story of the past 100 days in the public eye. Here you have a government wanting to mark its first 100 days. You had a big 100-day agenda. You're wanting to take to the voters what you've been able to do in these 100 days. And at the same time, the opposition wanting to set the agenda. Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal announcing he'll resign, go back to being an Aam Aadmi. So unlike the last 10 years where it was one-way traffic with the government setting the agenda, the 100-day anniversary captures this unique phenomena where the government is trying to set the agenda and is being pushed back by a far more aggressive opposition than in the past.
Now, where is the pushback? It's a matter of shame that an entire party and its chief minister are almost proven to be culpable and have been in jail for the investigations. Charge sheets are expected to be filed, and any effort to resign and try to change the agenda is not going to work. The people of Delhi have seen this corrupt government. This chief minister stands totally exposed, and it's a vindication of the investigative agency's findings that he has been forced to resign. And I don't think the people of Delhi are going to be amused or influenced by this charade. They have seen through the corruption of the Aam Aadmi Party, and they'll make sure that this resignation is permanent.
Piyush ji, the big difference between the past 10 years and the past 100 days is that the BJP now needs the support of allies like the Janata Dal United and the TDP, which wasn't the case earlier. As one of the senior-most ministers in this government, can you explain how that has internally changed the nature of governance? I know the government is seeking to convey continuity, but from within, from your lens, how is it having to take allies on board different from being able to do your own thing without being dependent on what allies think of your decisions?
Rahul, you are missing the Honorable Prime Minister's continuous effort over 10 years to work along with his friends. So right from 2014, 19 and now 24, in each of the three governments, we had representatives of our allies. Even in 14 and 19, when we on our own had an absolute majority, the BJP, we respected our alliance, the National Democratic Alliance. And we did not tell the allies that now you're not required, so we'll form our own government. And that is the credibility of a tall leader, a visionary, and a leader who's clearly today the world's most popular leader. On his birthday today, as we celebrate Seva Divas, as we celebrate Vishwakarma Jayanti, as we celebrate Anant Chaturdashi, as we all pledge ourselves to Swachhata, I think it's a great matter of pride for the nation that after 60 years, we have a popular leader, a Prime Minister who's been sworn in the third time, along with our friendly parties in the National Democratic Alliance, and all of us with shared thinking, with a common agenda, supporting the development of the country to become a developed nation by 2047. This shared vision powers this government to make breakthroughs and achieve a big agenda in the very first 100 days itself.
Piyush ji, in the briefing the government did over the weekend and even in the press conference by the Home Minister this morning, the government explained what they've been able to achieve in the last 100 days. The opposition, though, says these have been 100 days that have been marked by U-turns, which wasn't the case in the past 10 years. From the decision to hire bureaucrats through the lateral entry, the decision to take back the broadcast bill, sending the Waqf board to a joint parliamentary committee, changing the long-term capital gains tax and indexation which was announced in the budget, and coming up with a modified national pension scheme. They're saying there are multiple policy reversals which show that this government isn't as strong as the first two avatars of the Modi government. How do you respond to this critique of the opposition?
Rahul, I think you have been observing our government's efforts and work and Mr. Prime Minister's own thinking for the last many years, whether it was in Gujarat, whether it's in Delhi at the central government. You know, he's the longest serving popular leader elected by the people when you combine his work as a chief minister and the prime minister. But one thing which he has consistently followed and which is a distinct trait of a good leader is that he's a listening leader. He's a leader who's responsive to the need of the times and the needs of the people. He has never shied away from being willing to change track, but always has remained on the course to do what is best for the country. So I don't think there's been any U-turn. If at all we allowed both options, the indexation in long-term capital gains and the new simplified version of capital gains, it's only a reflection of a listening government who felt that nobody should be disadvantaged because of our actions. The 45 people who were sought to be recruited through lateral entry, the policy needed a little tweaking. In fact, when we introduced lateral entry, it was declared by the Home Ministry that it will respect all the necessary government procurement principles. And therefore, we found that this needs to be corrected and probably brought in another form. So I don't see any rollback. These are small issues where we have demonstrated to the people of India that this government and this leader cares for his people, listens to them, and is always willing to have changes along the way.
Piyushji, can you explain what you think are the big ideas of Modi 3.0? You know, we saw last time Article 370 being brought in. What are the big ideas that you think you've been able to implement in the last 100 days, which you have in your agenda plan for the next 4+ years? The big ideas that you think will define Modi 3.0?
I think the fact that we finally have political stability in the country and that Prime Minister Narendra Modi will get a chance to implement his vision for many more years to come has helped generate confidence in the world, in the India story. They can now see India working hard at thrice the speed, 3 times more effort to get 3 times more outcomes and take India to become a developed nation by 2047. And the fact that the milestones along the way are well defined, are planned, every single element of a person's life, whether it's ease of living, whether it's ensuring a home for everybody. We've already given 4 crore poor a free home, another 3 crore homes expected in the next 5 years. The fact that today nobody in the country sleeps hungry and India is fast becoming a 100% self-reliant economy on food grains and foodstuffs. The fact that we are one of the world leaders on sustainability and moving towards net zero, moving towards clean air and pollution-free environment very rapidly. The fact that the country cares for the youth, supports startups, supports skill development, and wants to make every young man and woman stand on his own legs, either as an entrepreneur, getting a good job in government, in industry, in the services sector, which is growing very fast, get a stable currency, and we see the Indian rupee not only stable but in a way showing strength when the whole emerging markets are in distress. We see an economy where international trade is fast growing. More and more people are getting jobs in infrastructure creation, programs to encourage electric vehicle mobility, to encourage adoption of electric vehicles, to encourage solar power, taking our renewable energy from 200 gigawatt to 500 gigawatt by 2030. You see a plethora of actions, hundreds and hundreds of decisions taken in less than 100 days. Every cabinet meeting making game-changing rapid strides towards our dream to make India a developed nation, with an intermediate milestone that in this term, India will become the world's third largest economy, crossing $5 trillion and rapidly growing thereafter towards a $30 trillion plus economy.
Piyush ji, you come from the state of Maharashtra, which is due for elections in a few weeks from now. There are elections in Haryana, there are elections in Jharkhand. Do you accept that these three states and the verdict that voters throw up in the state assembly elections becomes key to determining the political future of the government? If you're able to win many of these states, it will be sab changa si, Modi ji is back to normal and the BJP is back to being ascendant. If, however, there are poll reversals, could that undermine the pace of reforms going forward?
Rahul, my friend, we are going to win in all the three states of Maharashtra, Jharkhand and Haryana. And in Jammu Kashmir, the government will have the BJP as a member of the government. And you will see a massive improvement in the future of these four states. We are very confident of winning. And the people of India want to see political stability, want to see growth. The people in these four states have benefited immensely from the work of the central government. In Haryana, in Maharashtra and Jammu Kashmir, the work of our NDA governments, and the people of Jharkhand, having gone through so much corruption in their state and absolutely no development, now are yearning for change. So we have bright days ahead for the country, for these four states.
One of the big decisions taken in the last 100 days was that farmers were given more flexibility when it came to exports of products like rice, of products like onion. Is that frankly done with an eye on the assembly elections, where this is a big issue in your home state, particularly of Maharashtra? Or do you think this is a signal of the new policy direction you intend to follow even beyond the assembly election cycle?
Rahul, ever since 2014, and I have personally been a part of meetings where the Honorable Prime Minister repeatedly tells us that any decision my government will take, the Honorable Prime Minister's government will take, will always be based on what is good for the country, national interest, the people's good. And elections will never determine any of our decisions. I have once told you also that I had once upon a time a very important decision which my ministry could have taken in an earlier department I ran, which would have helped a particular state in their local election. I went to the Honorable Prime Minister seeking his guidance and permission to announce it. And I said it will help the state government very significantly. Everything is ready. And he said, I don't want you to take decisions just because there's an election in mind. And he didn't allow me to announce it. Everything was ready. He allowed me to announce it after the state elections are over. He doesn't believe that government works election to election. He believes that government works in the long term for the good of the nation. And similarly, we have balanced the interests of consumers and farmers in our various decisions related to the farm sector. Because inflation has been brought under control due to the strong measures both of the government and Reserve Bank of India, both monetary fiscal policy working in tandem, we are back to sub 4% inflation rates now for 2 months in a row. That is what has helped us in bringing back import duties on palm oil, so we can encourage farmers to grow more soybean and oil seeds and become self-sufficient in oil seeds, balancing the interests of low inflation for consumers and the farmers' interests. Similarly, we have a good onion crop expected this year. The Kharif season is just coming in from a few days from now, and Kharif crop cannot be stored. It cannot be kept for long periods of time. Keeping their interests in mind, we have both built up a buffer stock so that consumers can keep getting onion at affordable prices and give the farmers an opportunity to export their kharif crop so that they get very high prices for their onions. Similarly, we've had a bumper crop in rice. Therefore, we have taken the strong decision to remove the minimum export price on basmati rice, and we are reviewing other elements of export controls to make sure that farmers and consumers both will benefit from government policy. It has nothing to do with elections. These are long-term policies.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini. Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Arvind Kejriwal resigns from CM post, submits his resignation to LG. PM Modi on Ganesh Puja at CJI's residence, says Congress has problem even attending Puja. SC halls bulldozer justice till 1st October, says illegal demolitions are against constitution. Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 34 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 30 and minimum 24 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 25 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 28 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 28 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 30 and minimum 21 degrees. Weather forecast now. Delhi, maximum 34 and minimum 26 degrees. Mumbai, maximum 30 and minimum 24 degrees. Kolkata, maximum 33 and minimum 25 degrees. Bangalore, maximum 28 and minimum 21 degrees. Chennai, maximum 35 and minimum 28 degrees. Hyderabad, maximum 30 and minimum 21 degrees.
Presented by JK Tyre, Desh Ka Tyre. Co-presented by New Seltos with Kia Connect. Tech is now badass. Co-powered by The Bold Look of Kohler. Co-powered by Lauritz Knudsen Electrical and Automation. Trust has a new name.
Good evening, hello, and welcome. You're with the news today, your primetime destination. News, newsmakers, talking points. The big talking point is coming With a new chief minister now for Delhi, the third chief minister of the state, Atishi, is the new chief minister. But will she be a proxy for Arvind Kejriwal? Also, what are the hits and misses of Modi 3.0 as the government completes 100 years? Is it still working under coalition pressures? We'll raise that question too on the news today, plus all the news updates. But first, as always, it's time for the 9 headlines at 9 tonight. Delhi gets a new chief minister. Atishi stakes claim to form the government after Arvind Kejriwal's resignation, says Kejriwal will return as chief minister. BJP calls Atishi a puppet chief minister. Big fallout of the West Bengal doctors' protest. Kolkata's top cop is shunted out. Manoj Verma takes over. New health department heads appointed. Supreme Court urges doctors to end strike, return to work, even as it raises questions over the investigation into the rape and murder. The Modi government 3.0 completes its 100 days tenure. Home Minister Amit Shah vows Waqf bill will come soon, says one nation, one election will also be implemented in the future. Manipur continues to simmer. The Home Minister claims Myanmar infiltration reason behind ethnic clashes, says centre in talks with Kuki and Meitei groups. Supreme Court puts the brakes on bulldozer action across the country until October 1, except in cases of encroachment. Supreme Court says there has been a glorification of bulldozers, wants rules to be placed. Prime Minister Modi hits out at the uproar over his Ganpati Puja rituals at the Chief Justice's residence, says Congress and its ecosystem was upset with Ganesh Puja and wants to divide society. Thousands of pagers explode in Lebanon, 3 dead so far, over 1,000 injured, including Iran's ambassador to Lebanon. Hezbollah pins the blame on Israel. Storm Boris casualties rise as floods wreak mayhem in Central Europe. Death toll rises to 17. And India wins the Asian Champions Trophy for a record-breaking 5th time. Harmanpreet and team beat China 1-0 in the final to become Asian champs once again. But the story that's breaking at this moment, more than 1,000 people are injured in different parts of Beirut, Lebanon, when their handheld pagers have exploded. The visuals that you can see on your screen are from the suburbs of Beirut and are now viral on social media. Reports say Iran's ambassador to Lebanon has also been hurt in the process, and the pager explosions are now, and he is now under observation at a hospital. So far, 3 people have lost their lives during the incident. A Hezbollah official speaking on condition of anonymity said the detonation of the pagers was the biggest security breach. Based on initial assessments, pagers exploded in Beirut and are likely to be the alphanumeric pager by Gold Apollo Company Limited, Taiwan. According to AP, Lebanon's health ministry has called on all hospitals to take in emergency patients who own the pagers to get away from them. It has also asked workers to avoid using wireless devices. We'll have more on that global story that's breaking at this moment. As I said, those pagers exploding in these unprecedented attacks that have taken place in Lebanon and could lead to a big escalation in the West Asia war. Delhi has a new chief minister. Arvind Kejriwal quit today as Delhi chief minister, and his loyal leader Atishi was chosen as his successor. The BJP has dismissed the change of guard in Delhi, claiming Atishi will only be a puppet of Arvind Kejriwal. But Atishi's emergence is one of the stories of the day, and it's our top story. Delhi has got its 3rd woman chief minister on a dramatic day. Take a look.
मेरे गुरु अरविंद केजरीवाल जी का धन्यवाद करना चाहती हूं, जिन्होंने मुझे इतनी बड़ी जिम्मेदारी दी और इस जिम्मेदारी के लिए मुझ पे भरोसा किया.
Delhi gets a new chief minister 5 months before polls. Ruling Aam Aadmi Party has picked Arvind Kejriwal's trusted aide Atishi as his successor, but only till next polls. Atishi had been steering governance when Kejriwal was in jail for 5 months. Soon after getting the mantle, Atishi swore allegiance to Kejriwal.
मैं आज ये जरूर कहना चाहती हूँ आम आदमी पार्टी के सभी विधायकों की तरफ से, दिल्ली की 2 करोड़ जनता की तरफ से, कि दिल्ली का एक ही मुख्यमंत्री है और उस मुख्यमंत्री का नाम अरविंद केजरीवाल है। ऐसे ईमानदार आदमी पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी ने भ्रष्टाचार के आरोप लगाए, झूठे केस किए, फर्जी केस किए।
While AAP netas hailed Atishi's elevation as Chief Minister,
सबने एक साथ मिलके आतिशी के नाम पे सहमति जताई।
Rebel AAP MP Swati Maliwal attacked Atishi over her family's fight to stop hanging of Parliament attack convict terrorist Afzal Guru.
दिल्ली के लिए एक बहुत दुखद दिन है। आज दिल्ली की मुख्यमंत्री एक ऐसी महिला आतिशी मारलेना जी बनने जा रही हैं जिनके अपने परिवार ने आतंकवादी अफजल गुरु को फांसी की सजा से बचाने के लिए एक लंबी लड़ाई लड़ी। ये कितनी गलत बात है।
BJP questioned Atishi's elevation as Delhi Chief Minister and called her a puppet by Kejriwal, who will just be remote controlled.
फरवरी में चुनाव आने वाले हैं अगले साल, तो दिल्ली के लोग तो मन बना चुके हैं कि केजरीवाल जैसे लोग, आम आदमी जैसे लोगों को कभी भी राजनीति में कभी भी जगह नहीं देना चाहिए।
आज एक आंदोलन के बाहरी व्यक्ति को मुख्यमंत्री बनाया जा रहा है, वो भी किस व्यक्ति को जिसके परिवार ने अफजल गुरु जैसे आतंकवादी को माफी दिलवाने के लिए पेटिशन दायर की थी। ऐसी नक्सली मानसिकता को बैकडोर से दिल्ली के मुख्यमंत्री की कुर्सी पर बैठाने का पाप अरविंद केजरीवाल कर रहे हैं।
Atishi has strong support of Kejriwal and party top guns. Can she prove to be AAP's Brahmastra? With Amit Bharadwaj and Piyush Mishra in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
So what does the move to make Atishi the new Chief Minister of Delhi mean? Joining me now is someone who is very close to Arvind Kejriwal, is a key strategist of the Aam Aadmi Party, Sandeep Pathak, its National General Secretary and MP Rajya Sabha joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Sandeep. The first statement of Atishi seemed to suggest that she is only at the moment a temporary interim Chief Minister. She said, I am not the Chief Minister, मैं मुख्यमंत्री नहीं हूँ, दिल्ली के एक ही मुख्यमंत्री रहेंगे, वो है अरविंद केजरीवाल. What does that mean? She may be de jure Chief Minister, but Arvind Kejriwal remains de facto Chief Minister of Delhi. Am I correct?
I think you will have to understand this very clearly, Rajdeep, that why Arvind Kejriwal has resigned today. The fact that the Bharatiya Janata Party left no stone unturned to break down and disintegrate the entire party, but they failed miserably. Now, they also wanted Arvind Kejriwal to resign when he was in the jail, but he did not, just to ensure that the constitutional practices are in place and democratic fabrics are not, played around by BJP the way they have been doing around the country. Now, after coming out from the jail, Arvind Kejriwal had decided to resign because he wanted to go to the people of Delhi and take mandate from them, take certificate of honesty from them, and therefore he has resigned. Now, we have a few months left before the election would happen. So for these few months, Atishi ji has been chosen to become the Chief Minister.
No, so she is a stop. No,
Sandeep
bhai. So Sandeep, she is a stopgap Chief Minister. Effectively, you are saying she is only there for a few months. You're telling me that Atishi is a stopgap Chief Minister. BJP is calling her a puppet Chief Minister. You seem to suggest she's a stopgap Chief Minister.
So let's ignore what BJP is saying, because they are here just to say something random which has no meaning. You have to understand, Arvind Kejriwal has resigned today just to ensure that just to go to the court of people, and that people give him certificate of integrity and honesty. Number one. Number two, you are left with few months, and for these few months you need to run the government because people have given the mandate to run the government. So therefore Atishi has been chosen to be the CM for now. So whatever BJP is saying, they should rather focus on the fact that putting their house in order. with the kind of response BJP is giving on this matter, you would see they're totally clueless. They have no idea what is going on, and they're just talking random, beating about the bush.
No, but the fact is, Sandeep Pathak, that you will go into the next election with Arvind Kejriwal as your face. Therefore, what is Atishi's exact role? Let's get it very clear. A Chief Minister's role. What exactly is the role?
Absolutely, very pointed question, Rajdeep, and I have a pointed answer to that. There are two roles Atishi has in hands. Number one, that she has to bring back Arvind Kejriwal along with the 2 crore Dilhaites. So all Delhi people and Atishi and entire government, all of us will have to fight and then bring back Arvind Kejriwal as the Chief Minister, number one. Number two, you know, the Bharatiya Janata Party has been bent on stopping all the good work that Arvind Kejriwal had initiated, whether it's the Bijli, it's the Pani or health or education system, everything. They would try to destroy the work done by Kejriwal. So Atishi's hands are full to ensure, to protect all these work and ensure that they all continue. So these are the two clear-cut job of Atishi for now has been laid down.
You know, I want to ask you this though again, that you are going into the elections, as you keep saying, with Arvind Kejriwal. This is an opportunity for Arvind Kejriwal to vindicate itself. Why did you choose Atishi? Is it loyalty? The only factor that you've chosen is you wanted someone who will unquestioningly accept Arvind Kejriwal's leadership. Am I clear on that? Is that the main qualification for Atishi?
See, I'll tell you one thing, Rajbir, unlike any other political party, our political party is little different. And all the MLAs in the party is capable of becoming the Chief Minister. There is absolutely no doubt. And obviously, Atishi has been chosen because she was there in ministries. She has been handling most of the ministries. You have a limited time also. So she was well versed with the departments. She was functioning, and everybody in consensus decided to support Atishi, and that's how she's here.
No, is it consensus or is it Mr. Kejriwal decided? Because there are people senior to her in your party as well, who are ministers who will probably now work under her, the likes of Gopal Rai. Have you chosen her simply, I repeat, because she is someone who will completely remain in Mr. Kejriwal's shadow? Is that the reason? Primarily?
Our entire party is shadow of Arvind Kejriwal, number one. Number two, why she was chosen, anybody could have been chosen. That is not important today. Whoever will be chosen, they have got a clear-cut job to do, to execute the same thing that we all got to do it. Now, I'll tell you one thing. We need to ponder more upon today that why Kejriwal had to resign. In today's political situation in country where BJP is state after state, they're going and dismantling democratically elected government. So what is going on in the country if you look at it? So Kejriwal has shown a path to the other chief ministers that if something like that happens, never resign when you are in jail. Don't resign under pressure of BJP. Resign if you think you are in full control and as per your own wish.
Okay, I'm going to leave it there. You've given us a sense of yes.
One more thing, Rajdeep, very interesting. Never before in the history of India or any other across the world, any political person would have gone to people and asked the mandate in integrity and honesty that मुझे तभी आप वोट देना अगर आपको लगता है कि मैं ईमानदार हूँ.
But Mr. Pathak, never before, if I may say so, never before in the country that I recall is someone in jail, arrested and continues as Chief Minister. So there are two sides to this story. There will be those who will say Arvind Kejriwal remained in jail and refused to resign.
Never before, absolutely, never before the country has seen in the central dispensation going after state and breaking down, disintegrating the democratically elected government. So you have to respond to the situation, and situation demanded that don't succumb to the pressure of Bharatiya Janata Party and protect the constitution. It was the duty of a democratically elected chief minister to protect the constitution and protect the democratic fabric. And Arvind Kejriwal is always known to show the path to the world in terms of politics, be it politics or be it anything.
Okay.
is Arvind Kejriwal.
I'm going to leave it there. We'll wait and see how the people of Delhi react to Atishi taking over from Arvind Kejriwal and what role she will play and how this will work out in the months ahead. But for now, Sandeep Pathak for joining me here on the news today. Appreciate you joining me. Sandeep Pathak there of the Aam Aadmi Party on Atishi's rise as Chief Minister of Delhi. Now, let's turn from there to Prime Minister Modi, who today marked his 100th day in his third term in office. The Prime Minister also celebrated his 74th birthday with a number of launches, including the Subhadra scheme and key infrastructure projects in Odisha and government. The Modi government has also released a report where it claims its various achievements in 100 days. The Congress, though, is questioning whether this government is really Modi's or a coalition government. Take a look at our other top story.
Modi 3.0 completes 100 days. The milestone also coincides with Narendra Modi's birthday. The day he turned 74, the Prime Minister was in Odisha to launch Subhadra, a direct benefit transfer scheme aimed at women, and many highway and rail projects. Modi also met beneficiaries of the PM Awas Yojana. A day earlier, he was in Gujarat launching Namo Bharat, Rapid Rail and other projects. At a public event, he accused his rivals of targeting him even as he worked for the people of the country.
पिछले 100 दिन में न जाने कैसी कैसी बातें होने लगी। इस दौरान मेरा मजाक उड़ाने लगे। ये सरदार पटेल की भूमि से पैदा हुआ बेटा है। हर अपमान को सहते हुए एक प्राण लेकर के 100 दिन मैंने आपके कल्याण के लिए, देश हित के लिए नीति बनाने और निर्णय लेने में जुटा लिए।
To mark its 100 days in office, the government has brought out a document listing achievements, highlighting projects worth around 15 lakh crore rupees for all sections of society.
जब मेक इन इंडिया का नारा दिया गया, काफी लोग इसका मखौल उड़ाते थे, मगर आज मैं बहुत फक्र के साथ कह सकता हूं कि भारत पूरी दुनिया में उत्पादन का सबसे चहेता केंद्र बन चुका है और ये वास्तविकता है।
The Congress responded by listing government's failures, accusing the NDA regime of having no vision.
The reality is that the Modi government has failed on every front. You are obviously dependent on your allies. For that, you are willing to turn a blind eye to the problems of this country. But questions will be raised about what plan do you have for this nation? How long do you continue? Do you plan to continue to misuse our agencies? What are you going to do about women's security? What are you going to do about unemployment, to rein in prices? There are various issues that face this nation. And on all those fronts, you have miserably failed this country.
The last 100 days were also an indication of the changed realities. The Modi government scrapped a UPSC advertisement for lateral entry jobs in the government after allies and opposition claimed it bypassed quota. A broadcast bill that aimed to rein in independent content creators was put on hold. A bill to amend the Waqf Act was sent to a joint parliamentary committee after opposition from allies and Muslim bodies. And a budget proposal to remove indexation benefits from capital gains was rolled back. Modi 3.0 is different from the NDA government's earlier two stints. The BJP, with 240 MPs, is well short of the majority, making it dependent on its allies. The Modi regime seems to have well and truly entered the coalition age. Bureau Report, India Today.
Let's raise the big question there. Modi 3.0, is it working under coalition pressure now? Has Modi 3.0 found its feet? What are the hits and misses of Modi 3.0? Has the opposition got the measure of Modi 3.0? Some of the questions we'll raise tonight. Joining me now in the studio is Pradeep Bhandari. He's BJP's spokesperson. Supriya Srinath is the Congress social media head as well as its national spokesperson. Rajat Sethi, political analyst. He's worked with BJP governments in the past. And Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay is an author who's written a biography of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. I appreciate all my guests joining us. To you, Pradeep Bhandari, first. If I were to ask you the 3 biggest achievements you believe in the last 100 days, list them out for me. Tell me what you believe are the 3 biggest achievements of Modi in 3.0 in his first 100 days.
Rajdeep, not just 3, I will list you 10.
But give me 3, your top 3.
The top 3 has been that there has been no difference between Prime Minister Narendra Modi 3.0, 1.0 and 2.0. In 1.0, we had launched the Jan Dhan scheme. Now we've launched the PM Ayushman Bharat scheme for all the senior citizens of the country. In 1.0, in 2.0, if you remember that Prime Minister Narendra Modi had gone for with triple talaq bill. This time we've given a commitment for the Waqf bill. In Modi 3.0, 1.0 and 2.0, there has been zero compromise on our core ideological issues, whether it is the UCC, whether it is one nation, one election. So if you look at it, that there is no difference between the two, and Modi 3.0, India is the fastest growing economy. And just allow me to list certain amount of basic facts. The total investment that we've invested is 15 lakh crores. The defense 1.45 lakh crore is the defense procurement we've done. We've announced 4 crore houses. The Congress party for 30 years could only build 3.5 crore houses. We've built 4 crore houses. We've announced 4 crore houses, built more than what Congress could do in 30 years. For agriculture, we have transferred 2 lakh crore of worth amount for the MSP for farmers. So we've taken care of farmers, we've taken care of women. So if you look at it holistically, there has been no area where the Modi government has fallen back.
I'm going to come to specifics in a moment, but I'm giving all of you opening remarks. You, Supriya Srinath, here is Pradeep Bhandari talking up Modi 3.0, saying in 100 days, there's no difference between Modi 1.0 and 2.0. They're moving with the same speed, he claims.
Good evening to you, to my fellow panelists and to all your viewers. I have one question to ask before I go and respond to some of the specific things that have been raised. You know, you can keep playing around with numbers. I will just explain the truth. But I have one opening remark to make, and that remark emanates from a letter that the Congress president has written to the Prime Minister of this country. In the 100 days of the Modi government, you've had BJP functionaries, ex-MLAs, ministers, sitting MLAs openly issue life threats to the leader of the opposition, Rahul Gandhi. You've had people say that his tongue should be cut and the reward will be 11 lakh. You've had ministers in the Modi government call Rahul Gandhi terrorist number 1. You've had ministers make bizarre statements. I first want to point to the issue that Mr. Kharge has raised, that these people need to be reined in. How can in a democracy, how can in a country like ours, people in governance, people in government be issuing open life threats to India's leader of opposition? That's the first question I want to raise, and I would like to ask my worthy colleague from the BJP, my worthy opponent, are you supportive of these statements? Do you support the fact that a member of the BJP openly says Rahul Gandhi ka wo hash rahuga jo uski dadi ka hua tha? Do you support Ravneet Bittu when he says Rahul Gandhi is terrorist number 1? And
Let me settle that, ma'am. Ma'am, one minute. We are discussing Modi 3.0, but you've raised ma'am, you've raised an issue. Let him respond. Let him respond. You want him to respond and say, do you... No, 1 minute, ma'am.
Speak for 10 seconds.
Yes.
Let me speak for 10 seconds. You're wasting time. You could have given me those 10 seconds. Let me finish in those 10 seconds.
Go ahead.
I am only simply asking one question. आप किसको टेररिस्ट बुला रहे हैं? जिसने अपनी दादी के सीने में 32 गोलियां उतरते हुए देखी, or the person who saw his father blown up to pieces to keep this country united, or whose great-grandfather lived for 9.5 years of jails across India to win independence for this country. You dare call him a terrorist? And I'm going to take it lying down. I have one question to ask of the BJP. Are you supportive of the violent death threats being issued in a democracy?
I understand your anger, but allow me to ask you, you've been a TV anchor.
I want to ask that question.
Okay, let me ask the question and then I will focus again on Modi 3.0. But let's answer it because it's a serious issue that she has raised. Ravneet Bittu, A union minister says Rahul Gandhi is a terrorist. A Shiv Sena leader says, I will give 11 lakhs for his tongue to be cut. Supriya Srinath is raising the question that today Mallikarjun Kharge has raised to Narendra Modi. Does the BJP support this language of violence and effectively almost asking for Rahul Gandhi to be targeted? Do you support it or not? Quick answer, Pradeep.
Rajdeep, the Congress, it's coming too rich for the Congress party. The Bharatiya Janata Party believes in absolute no violence, but the Congress party, has the Congress party reined in the Boti person? He's been given the ticket from Uttar Pradesh. Has Mr. Rahul Gandhi used abusive slur for Prime Minister Narendra Modi? What has happened in the United States of America in last 100 days? An India Today reporter was abused and his phone was snatched by the Congress party. Did the Congress party rein in the person? Ila Umar was
Do you distance yourself from these comments? Do you distance? Should a minister be calling the leader of the opposition a terrorist? No, 1 minute. I want a straight answer, then we want to move on.
Rajdeep, no. Now my question is...
You said no, right?
Absolutely. Now,
you said wrong.
Now ask Mrs. Srinath, why is she not reined in Imran Masood, who said boti kar denga? Why is she given the ticket?
Okay.
Please ask that.
So you're
why
saying no.
No.
So you are saying it was wrong. Just a minute, sir. Let's not raise our voices.
We don't encourage violence.
Okay.
We don't. But they do that.
Okay,
they do that.
Let her now
ask her. Why has Imran Masood been given a ticket?
Okay, you've made your point. Yes. You've made your point. Let her respond.
The fact
you have said... No, 1 minute, sir. Let's not use the fact that you're in the studio to raise your voice. Let Supriya respond. Supriya, you see, this politics of violence has shadowed our politics for a decade now. Polarization, hyper-polarization. Give me a quick response and then I'll move on to 3.0 Modi.
A man in Delhi stands and says Rahul Gandhi ka wo hash hoga jo unki dadi ka hua tha. Why is he still a member of the BJP? A minister in your government says Rahul Gandhi is a terrorist number one.
What about Imran Masood's boti
and when you sack him, you distance yourself, or please don't come here and give me summons. I did not speak while you were speaking. Have the basic courtesy to do a television debate. Have that courtesy. This is not one of those shows where you can dance and sing and
Ma'am, do you also reject anyone who also uses violent language against the Prime Minister?
Polarized polity like this. I'm answering that question. In a polarized polity like this, answer one question. If any untoward incident were to happen against my leader, is the BJP responsible?
She's not responding.
Why are you protecting?
That's the difference.
Why are you letting people get away with murder in your party?
I gave you a specific answer. She could not respond to that.
Okay, I've heard both sides. I am very clear, madam. Ma'am, you made your point. I hope you will also say that Imran Masood cannot use that language. The same language that Imran Masood was thought used cannot be used by Ravneet Bittu.
I denounce it. Shame on him.
Okay.
I denounce it.
That's good.
I denounce it.
Okay.
I denounce it.
He was given a ticket.
Is he willing to do that?
Okay.
Is he willing to say that Ravneet Bittu should be sacked? Is he willing to say Marwa should be ousted from the party?
1984.
Okay, time out, producer.
What did Mr.
No, 1 minute, Pradeep, just a minute. We've heard both sides. As I said, our debate is on Modi 3.0, but what hasn't changed clearly is the hyper-polarization of our politics in the last 100 days. If anything, this short exchange shows it's intensified. Let me turn to specific hits and misses, and I'll get Rajat and Nilanjan to have quick responses. Modi 3.0 hits. Welfare focus on farmers, rural population, women. There have been more schemes announced for them. Infrastructure push continues. Projects worth rupees 3 lakh crore cleared. Unified pension scheme for government staff. Free health insurance for senior citizens under Ayushman Bharat. That scheme has been widened. And elections to be held in Jammu and Kashmir after 10 years. The misses of Modi 3.0. The failure to control the conflict in Manipur. Terror has found new bases in Jammu and Kashmir, especially in Jammu. No solution yet given, concrete solution to the problem of epidemic of exam paper leaks. Rail accidents have risen in the last 100 days, raising questions over train safety. A failure to anticipate the revolt against Sheikh Hasina in Bangladesh. And plus, there have been U-turns. Take a look at some of those U-turns. Lateral entry job ads were scrapped after allies opposition accused government of bypassing quota. Government withdrew the draft of broadcast bill aimed at checking content creators. Waqf bill has now been referred to a joint parliamentary committee after opposition called it draconian, and government has given relief after removing indexation benefits in real estate capital gains. Rajat Sethi, how do you respond to what is the difference? give me an objective view, difference between Modi 3.0 and the first two regime. Is this a government now adjusting to coalition pressures?
I think, so objectively speaking, I don't see Prime Minister Modi operating directly under any coalition pressure. But what he's actually, doing some course correction is around the fact that he missed the majority mark. It did require some, drawing board correction on what his vision was and where are the main gaps in people's understanding or people's support for the BJP and for himself. I think.
How do you explain the U-turns? How do you then, if you say there are no coalition pressures, how do you explain the U-turns?
See, first of all, this Waqf board is going to remain an issue where Prime Minister Modi and the entire BJP will constantly expose the opposition on its hypocrisy. So this will become a deeply ideological issue that the BJP and the entire ecosystem of the BJP would proudly want to take it to every single household and generate huge amount of commotion in the country around it. Because it is one bill where the Congress will not have answers to, will not have any logical answers to. Okay, so do not think that this is some kind of a U-turn. This is a sharp strategy by Prime Minister Modi to expose the entire opposition through the Waqf board. Now, leave that aside. I don't think that is a U-turn. A lot of analysts are saying it is a U-turn. I don't see that. On the lateral entry, I suppose, he has shown nimbleness around it. As soon as, it was tabled, he realized that it could have, seriously dented his entire social justice paradigm, and he went back on it. And I agree, you require this nimbleness to ensure that nobody can come out and pinpoint on the core things which were snowballing into a major issue during the election time. What were the main issues on which BJP was found on a slippery slope? It was constitutional protection to the reservation. He did a U-turn on that, and rightfully so.
So you're saying it's more flexible. You're saying Modi 3.0 is showing a flexibility as a result of certain coalition compulsions.
He has accounted for the loss of majority in his decision-making and his leadership style. Right. I don't see coalition pressure. I see him filling in the gaps that were laid in because of some of the errors that the government made in Modi 2.0.
Okay.
And I think he's nimble enough, which other leaders would find they also have to be nimble to keep challenging Prime Minister Modi in Modi 3.0.
Very interesting, your perspective. Nilanjan Mukhopadhyay, your view. Do you see a very different Narendra Modi in these 100 days to Modi 1.0, 2.0? If you recall, 2.0 was when Article 370 was abrogated, CAA was brought in, triple talaq was abolished. Contrast to that, the Prime Minister seems to be a little more cautious, some would say, on bringing in polarizing issues in the first 100 days.
Well, Rajdeep, first of all, thank you very much for having me on your show and discussing something which is actually the first watershed of the third tenure of Mr. Modi. And Mr. Modi, we have seen his previous tenures also from 2014 and 19. This is not the first time that the 100 days of the government is being celebrated. Now, if we actually compare it with the celebrations in 2014 and also in 2019, and also try to go back to what all was done in 2014 and what was done in 2019, you very well listed them, starting with the amendment which was brought in UAPA, Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. From that to the Ayodhya verdict, along with Kashmir 370, CAA, a large number of ideological issues were pushed through. Now, this time somehow these celebrations seem to be very muted. Now, let us not forget that this is the time this year was actually the kind of preparations which have been done by the government even before the elections were held to celebrate, to mark and actually to lay out an agenda for the 100 days is unprecedented. As far back as in February 2024, 10 committee, different sectors were formed, all secretary level officers to draw out a very detailed agenda of what has to be done for the 100 days, and that was to be announced in a mega fashion. Somewhere around the end of the campaign, I remember a very insightful interview with several of your colleagues of India Today, where Mr. Modi was asked about the 100 days, which he had been talking in each and every campaign speech of his, that I am going to come out with bade ideas, big ideas, that is what he would say. So he was asked about it by several of your colleagues. So he said, that actually I do not want to only get stuck to the 100 days. I would rather add another 25 days and make it 125, which for the first time appeared that he was not very certain about pushing this 100 days agenda in the line. Because we all know that there were indications that the verdict is not going that way. So there has been a lot of, I would say the shortages and slippages are seeing. You yourself have listed out several rollbacks which have been done in the last 3 months. We also have to take a look at the fact that, the basic message of the verdict has not been understood. Mr. Modi, I am sad to say that he remains to be in a bit of a denial mode. Now, whereas the verdict calls for a consultative approach to governance, he was the first one to actually, when the cabinet was formed, the Council of Ministers was formed, he said that it's a government of continuity. Now, the moment you talk about continuity, you are actually reviving the spirit of 2014 and 19, which you do not have in numerical terms.
Okay,
so it sent a bad message that
I take your point, Nilanjan, that consultative spirit has
diminished size.
Okay. Yeah. Pradeep Bhandari, you heard that somewhere down the line, has the Prime Minister understood has he understood the message of 2024 in these 100 days? The message of the voters is to be more consultative, to take people along with you. Even where there are contentious issues, talk to them. I don't see any attempt made by the Prime Minister in Parliament, outside Parliament, to have a dialogue with the opposition, when the verdict clearly was to have such a dialogue.
Rajdeep, I'll answer that, but you allowed Supriya the liberty of diverting from the topic for 15 seconds.
No, I want you to answer this.
I will answer it. Just allow me 10 seconds of just factual thing. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was said, Modi ki boti boti, Modi teri kabar khudegi. Congress leader Sheikh Hussain was said, kutte ki maut marega Modi. Rahul Gandhi said, lathi dande se marenge Prime Minister Narendra Modi ko. And as per the India Today article, Sukhwinder Singh Randhawa, again Congress party leader, said, if Adani and Ambani have to be removed, Modi should be finished first, then defeated. Congress party did not take action. It took you 10 minutes for Supriya Shine to distance herself from Imran Masood, which was given a member of parliament.
You made your point. Now tell me.
Now I'm coming on.
Now, because I'll give you a live example of that is Manipur. One of the problems with Manipur is this government for a long time has been in denial. The Prime Minister not visited Manipur even once in the last more than a year. In these 100 days, he's never spoken really about Manipur except briefly in Parliament. The questions arise. These are the issues where he needs to bring everyone. Why not have an all-party meeting? What stops the Prime Minister from having a more consultative approach?
Rajdeep, Home Minister Amit Shah, in fact, today spoke about Manipur, and the government is extremely cognizant about it. If you look at the larger situation in Manipur, Rajdeep, whether it is on the form of casualties, or it is in terms of insurgency, or whether it is in terms of the situation which is there, the number of insurgent groups which have surrendered, you will see it is much better. During the time of the Congress party, blockade was a norm in the time of Manipur. We are absolutely cognizant about Manipur, but we do not want to politicize something which has a national security angle. Now, you spoke about that this government is different. Rajdeep, between 2014 to 19, do you remember 2 bills which this government had taken forward for wider consultation? I'll tell you. Citizenship Amendment Bill 2016 and Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, both of them were further passed. So if you ask that giving a bill to JPC is the government going down, I disagree with it, because it has happened in the past also, Rajdeep. Another data point I'll throw, Rajdeep. In Modi 1.0, there were 20% plus bills which were given to select committee. In Modi 2.0, that number was 23%. Right now, only one bill which has gone to the JPC, which is Waqf Amendment Bill, in which Home Minister Amit Shah has categorically said that in the upcoming session of the Parliament, which will pass, because our allies, whether it is TTDP and JDU, have given their consensus to one nation, one election, or Waqf Amendment Bill.
Okay, I want to bring in Supriya Shine, though, on the economy, which you know well. You said, I saw your charge sheet against the Modi government saying prices have gone out of control. The fact is, last couple of months, prices are slowly coming down. The government says inflation is now firmly under control. Would you concede, therefore, that the Modi government has this ability to course correct? Yes, even when prices were up 6 months ago, now when you look at it, situation much better. Would you concede that this is one of the strengths of the Modi government, the ability to course correct?
I will come on the economy in just a bit, but because we were discussing Manipur, it's important to remind our viewers here. Manipur has been burning for the last 16 months. There's fresh violence there. Internet has been freshly banned. Curfew has been imposed. RPG, rockets and drones are being used to attack. Our armed forces are being attacked in Manipur. 12 people have lost their lives in the last 2 weeks. You think Manipur is under control? Well, the Prime Minister hasn't found a single minute to go there. You want to talk about national security? Let's talk about Ladakh. And I will come to the economy, Rajdeep. I'm not going to let that pass by. Ladakh. People from Ladakh are marching to New Delhi because they are so sick and tired of the government turning a blind eye and a deaf ear. They have been saying now for 4 years that the Chinese have occupied our territory. The Modi government doesn't care. The Ladakh people are now marching to Delhi. What are you going to do? Attack them the same way that you attacked India's farmers and attack them with
Let's talk economy.
Pellets and aansu gas ke gole chhodenge aap? I'm coming on the economy, and the economy is a very interesting topic because on the economy, the Prime Minister has presided over the death of Indian economy, over the death of employment, and he has totally presided over the death of
No, give me specifics. Those are rhetorical flourishes. Give me a specific. When you say the Prime Minister has presided over the death of economy, give me one specific. Speak specifically.
I am telling you how. The Prime Minister inherited the rupee at 58 to $1. It's at dangerously close levels of 84 to $1. FDI is 43% down over the last 3 years. It has been dipping. They used to tom it all the time. Unemployment is at 42% levels. This is a record high for unemployment. And Rajdeep, I don't know where you got your research from because the RBI's last commentary continues to say that inflation is still dangerously high. Food inflation is still hovering at levels of 10%. I don't know what inflation management are you talking about, because on inflation, I will give you figures. Toll prices went up by 15%, CNG prices shot up, LPG commercial cylinders shot up, milk prices shot up, pulses shot up, atta shot up. What has not shot up after the election? And this is just a 100-day report card. And also, I want to say one important thing here, Rajdeep, because this government talks about how much money they have invested. Where is that money going? Because clearly, the airports that you built and inaugurated right before elections, Jabalpur, Rajkot and Delhi, collapsed like a house of cards. Guess what? The roads and the pools are collapsing like a house of cards, including the statue of Shivaji, including the parliament's canopy which is leaking, including the Garbhagriha of the Ram temple. That is what these guys have done to this country.
Okay,
and
yes.
20 seconds.
Ma'am.
Just specifics, just data.
26 terror strikes. 26 terror strikes in Jammu and Kashmir. 21 of our brave hearts have died. They want to talk about national security. 38 train accidents, 21 deaths. The reality
your time is up. Yes, Pradeep Bhandari, because you're in the studio, you get a privilege to respond quickly.
No, on just economy, Rajdeep, GDP rank during the time of UPA 10th, during the time of NDA 5th, the bank NPA during the time of UPA 11%, during the time of NDA 1%, the jobs created by UPA 1 and UPA 2 as per RBI 2.9 crore, the job created by the Bharatiya Janata Party 4 crore, EPFO data suggests that we've created more jobs.
Jobs is a contentious issue. There are reports which have clearly also suggested that we've had among the highest unemployment levels.
Rajdeep, I believe in RBI. You can quote some other agency. Fragile 5 economy left by UPA. Now it is in the top 5 economy as per all the group agencies. Highest growing economy. The quantum of FDI is more than what it was at the time of UPA. The inflation, whether it is WPI and CPI, they left it at 8% and 6.5%. One is at 3%, other is at 5.5%. If you talk about infrastructure spending, 15 lakh crores of infrastructure. If you look at the total infra spend by the UPA, it was 1.57 lakh crore. We have spent 44 lakh crore on infrastructure between 2019 to 24. Please debate on any data point. And on Jammu and Kashmir, I would advise Supriya Shine to see Rajiv Sardesai's report on how Jammu and Kashmir has changed. You can, and that is how it is the final.
Okay, unfortunately, I have limited time. We'll try and widen. No, Supriya Shine, I'm afraid you made your point.
20 seconds.
Yes.
It's unfair for you. It's
20 seconds.
For you to not give me a chance to speak.
20 seconds. I've given you lots of time to speak.
You know, हाथ कंगन को आरसी क्या? हाथ कंगन को आरसी क्या? पढ़े लिखे को फारसी क्या? In Haryana, 5,000 सफाई कर्मचारियों की नौकरी आती है. 46,000 PGs and graduates are applying for it. That is where you have brought my country. You want to talk about jobs? You want to talk about the economy? Well, you have killed the economy, stupid. That's what you have done.
Okay, I know. I feel sorry for Rajat and Nilanjan. I apologize to them because when you have two politicians, they face off with each other. They throw numbers at each other. I'm going to apologize to them. I hope that I can get you and we can do a wider debate on Modi 3.0. For now, I have to stop here because we've got lots of
India
stories.
Today report of
Okay,
Haryana.
while you throw these numbers, and that really reflects, I think this conversation reflects one thing, as I said, that hasn't changed, the hyperpolarization of Indian politics at the moment, even after the 2024 verdict. Let's turn to the Supreme Court, which today passed an important order. No demolition through bulldozers will take place without its permission, except where there are street encroachments. Halting bulldozer justice till October 1. The court said even if there is one instance of an illegal demolition, it is against the ethos of the Constitution.
Supreme Court on Tuesday said no demolition exercise in the country should take place without its permission. Halting bulldozer justice, the court said, even if there is one instance of illegal demolition, it is against the ethos of the Constitution. A bench of Justices B.R. Gawai and K.V. Vishwanathan, however, clarified that its order will not be applicable to unauthorized structures on public roads, footpaths, water bodies and railway tracks. The top court issued a stern warning to the government against further grandstanding and glorification of such actions and ordered that there is no demolitions until further notice without explicit permission from this court, while cautioning that the Election Commission could also be called into the matter. The top court was hearing a batch of petitions alleging properties of those accused of crime were being demolished in several states. Solicitor General Tushar Mehta, however, told the top court that a narrative was being built over demolition of properties. With camera person Ashwini Helan, this is Kanu Sarda along with Anisha Mathur from New Delhi for India Today.
Let's take a break at this point. When we return, complete change in mood. We'll turn to our good news today stories and lots of nice images also. Back in a moment. You're watching the news today. News, unfortunately, at times with noise. Back in a moment.
India Today Conclave 2024, September 25th and 26th, Mumbai. Book your seat now. Visit indiatodayconclave.com.
Motorola Razr 50 Ultra comes with Google Gemini.
Hi, I am AI anchor Sana, bringing the top headlines for you, presented by Motorola. Arvind Kejriwal resigns from CM post, submits his resignation to LG. PM Modi on Ganesh Puja at CJI's residence, says Congress has problem even attending Puja. SC halls bulldozer justice till 1st October, says illegal demolitions are against Constitution.
Welcome back. Let's turn to our good news today story, and it's the story of a Mumbai-based chocolate sculptor, Rintu Rathod, who crafted an edible Ganpati idol for this year's Ganesh Utsav. Rathod is immersing the idol tonight in milk at the end of the festival to make a desi protein shake, which he says will be distributed to underprivileged kids as prasad. Take a look at Good News Today.
Ganpati in chocolate. Rintu Rathod, a Mumbai-based chocolate sculptor, has been making idols every Ganesh Utsav for 14 years. This time Rathod says she has portrayed Ganesh as Ardhanarishwara to draw attention to rising crimes against women across India.
This year's Ganpati form is Ardhanari. So half female and half male body. So this is a very old form of Ganesha, long forgotten, but now he has come again in a chocolate form. So my idea is to, through Bapa, give a message that Between male energy and female energies in the universe, there has to be some balance, you know.
The idol is made of chocolate, dry fruits, millets and jaggery.
It took me around 48 hours, and this is made out of 30 kg of Belgian dark chocolate. And the height is 25 inches.
When the festival gets over, Rathod plans to immerse the idol in 90 litres of milk.
So the Visarjan process happens within our home, and we immerse our idol in milk. And the resultant chocolate milk we distribute among the underprivileged children as prasad.
Rathod sold around 100 idols this year. Many of her clients are based abroad.
14 years, and Bapa has really blessed me because media all over the world have covered this idea, and I have clients coming from USA, from Hong Kong, from Singapore, from Dubai. They especially come and they take Bapa with them.
With Dev Kotak in Mumbai, Bureau Report, India Today.
It, of course, is Visarjan Day today across Maharashtra. Let me leave you, though, therefore, with two images. First, cities echoing with the sounds of dhol and amidst Ganpati Bappa Moria chants, devotees thronging to immerse the idol as yet another Ganesh Chaturthi comes to an end. Those are the images that we are getting you from Mumbai today. I want to leave you, though, with one more image, and it's an image that shows that Indian hockey is really, truly on the upward trajectory. Yet another win for our hockey team after winning the bronze medal in the Paris Olympic Games last month. India have now secured a record-extending 5th Asian Champions Trophy title, a 1-0 win for India against hosts China, further extending their continental bragging rights. We leave you, though, with those images. Stay well, stay safe. Good night, Shubh Ratri. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.